Chapter 1943. But grandmother, Daodu is used to living in the countryside. He's used to being with me and Yun. I'm afraid that he won't be used to it if Yun and I leave him alone in the residence. Old Madame Mu hurriedly replied, How can he not be used to it? How can the conditions in our residence be worse than those in the countryside? Daodu can eat, drink, and sleep well in the residence. He doesn't want to live a good life. Is he prepared to live a hard life? Grandmother, although the conditions in the residence are better, the child is still young. He wants to stay by his parents' side. Mu Lianfeng couldn't help but persuade her. I see. Old Madame Mu murmured. Finally she said, Why don't we let Miss Zhao stay in the residence? If she stays by Daodu's side, Daodu won't feel uncomfortable, right? Mu Lianfeng left this time because he didn't want Zhao Yun to feel awkward staying in the residence. If Zhao Yun stayed, what was the point? If he wasn't in the residence and Zhao Yun was there, Murong Shuang might come over and treat Zhao Yun unruly. In order to protect Zhao Yun from being wronged, he couldn't let Zhao Yun stay in the residence alone. Grandmother, Yun is used to living in the countryside. She doesn't feel comfortable living in the residence. Her parents are also in the countryside, so she wants to go back with me. Old Madame Mu immediately said unhappily, Feng, aren't you giving in to her too much? She's not used to living in the residence now. If she marries here in the future, won't she still live here? If she's not used to it, she can slowly get used to it. Unless she never enters the residence again. Mu Lianfeng sighed. Great, he was tossed back into the residence again. Seeing that old Madame Mu was about to get angry, Mu Lianfeng gently persuaded, Grandmother hasn't married yet. If she stays in the residence for a long time before she marries, it'll be hard to avoid gossip. Wait until Yuna marries here. Grandma, it's decided then. I know you like Daodu. When I have time, I'll bring Daodu over to visit you. As Mu Lianfeng spoke, he stood up to leave. He was afraid that old Madame Mu would say something. Grandma, rest well. I won't disturb you any longer. Feng. No matter how old Madame Mu called out to him, Mu Lianfeng did not stop walking. Old Madame Mu clutched her chest in pain. The nanny next to her hurriedly asked, Old Madam, what's wrong? Are you feeling unwell? Old Mistress Mu said, Hey, look at this grandson of mine. Why did he take my only great-grandson with him when he left? Daodu is the crown prince of the crown prince's household. How can he be left to suffer outside? The nanny comforted her, Old Madam, your health is not good. Please don't be sad. I can't bear to part with Daodu, but Feng insists on taking him away. Old Madam, the crown prince has indeed gone overboard. But you can't be angry or sad because of this. Your health is more important. After all, the crown prince is the crown prince's biological son. When the crown prince is done with the matters of the imperial court, won't he naturally bring the crown prince back to live here? Old Madame Mu said with a worried face, I don't know how long the matters of the imperial court will take, but I'm afraid I won't live for long. How can that be? Old Madam, don't talk nonsense. You still have to live a long life. You will definitely be able to watch the crown prince grow up. Chapter 1944. The nanny hurriedly said, Old Madam, don't let your imagination run wild. It's normal for old people to have poor health, but you can still live a long life. Trust me. I want to, but it's up to the heavens. I hope that Feng can complete the task entrusted to him by the imperial court as soon as possible. This old woman can also be together with them as soon as possible and enjoy the rest of my life. Old Madam, he definitely will. In the future, Lord Shitzi will definitely have a few more children and make our Shitzi estate lively. Yes, I can only hope so. The next day, Zhao Yun and Mu Lianfeng packed their luggage and returned to Shuilan village. If they continued to stay, Zhao Yun felt that she wouldn't be able to hold on any longer. Now that she heard that they were going back, she heaved a sigh of relief. Even if Mu Lianfeng protected her, there was no way to change the current situation. It was good that the two of them escaped. The only pity was that the wedding had to be delayed again. She didn't know when her wedding with Mu Lianfeng would be held. Zhao Yun would rather wait than embarrass herself in terms of formality. Either she didn't want this formality, or she couldn't embarrass herself too much. Soon, the three of them returned to Shui Lan village. On the way, Daodu was also very excited. Although they could eat a lot of pastries and other delicious food that couldn't be found in the countryside in the Xianxia estate, they only ate a little more. It was really boring to be alone in the Xianxia estate. It was better to have many playmates in the countryside. Mother, great-grandmother prepared a lot of Daodu's favorite osmanthus pastry and mung bean cake for Daodu. Daodu wants to go back and give it to little uncle, Sana, and big sister Huazi. Daodu's little face was full of smiles as he smiled at Zhao Yun. Zhao Yun patted Daodu's head and replied, "Daodu, good job. Good things should be shared with your friends. It's too boring to eat alone. It's better to eat with everyone." Daodu smiled sweetly. The smile on his face could melt anyone's heart. Zhao Yun's face was filled with gratification. It was rare to see such a sensible child at such a young age. Children's education was very important. Children who were taught well would naturally understand more. Daodu's happy face suddenly darkened. Zhao Yun asked curiously, "Why are you unhappy all of a sudden?" "Mother, Daodu is thinking that little sister Tian is too young. He brought so many mung bean cakes and osmanthus cookies, but little sister Tian can't eat them." Zhao Yun was amused by Daodu's words. She was wondering what Daodu was thinking. So this was what he was thinking. "It's fine. Little sister Tian will be able to eat it when she's older. Can't Daodu bring some to her in the future?" "Mother, how long will it take for little sister Tian to grow up?" "If she wants to have teeth like Daodu and be able to eat these things, it'll take at least a year." Daodu counted with his fingers. He was only 3 years old. If Tian had to wait until she was a year old, it would be a long time. Daodu sighed heavily. "Little sister Tian is so pitiful. It'll take a long time before she can eat them." Although little sister Tian can't eat them, she'll definitely know that Daodu cares about her. She'll be very touched. Zhao Yun patted Daodu's head and comforted him. "Mother, is that true?" "Of course." Chapter 1945. Zhao Yun had a gratified smile on her face. Dao really dotes on his little sister. He was such a considerate man at such a young age. It was a blessing to be his little sister. If they were in the 21st century, many girls would be envious of having such a brother. Of course, Daodu only has one little sister, Tian. Who else would he dote on if not Tian? Daodu's little face lit up with a beautiful smile. Zhao Yun asked curiously, "Then if mother gives birth to a little sister for Daodu, will Daodu dote on her?" Daodu answered without hesitation, "Of course. He'll dote on her just like how he dotes on little sister Tian. Then what if mother gives birth to a little brother for Daodu?" Daodu was silent for a moment after being asked by Zhao Yun. This, seeing Daodu's tightly knitted brows, Zhao Yun was amused by Daodu. When it came to a little sister, he could answer without hesitation, but when it came to a little brother, he became like this. It seemed that older brothers were indeed nicer to their little sisters. "What's wrong? Does Daodu not like little brothers?" Daodu shook his head. "No, I just think that if mother gave birth to a little brother, he wouldn't be as cute as a little sister. He's a man, he can protect himself and take care of himself in the future. Why would he need Daodu to dote on him?" Daodu said in a soft voice. After he finished speaking, he asked Zhao Yun, "Mother, don't you think so?" Zhao Yun and Mu Lianfeng looked at each other. Both of them couldn't hide the smile on their faces. Children's words were so pure. Zhao Yun secretly prayed that she would give birth to a girl. If she gave birth to a boy, it would definitely be better than a girl. A little brother is still young and doesn't know how to protect himself. If mother gives birth to a little brother for Daodu, Daodu should also take good care of his little brother, understand? Mu Lianfeng patted Daodu's head and lectured him. If that's the case, then Daodu will also dote on his little brother in the future. Daodu said thoughtfully. Good. It didn't take long for them to arrive at the village. Zhao Yun's courtyard. After staying at the heir's residence for a few days, she felt more and more comfortable at home. In the courtyard of Zhao Yun's house sat several sisters-in-law of the Zhao family. The women liked to chat together after they were done with their work. Zhao Yun's new house was big, so they liked to come over and play together. Seeing that Zhao Yun and Mu Lianfeng had returned, Liang Jinxiao hurried forward and said, "Yun, you've only stayed for a few days. Why are you back so soon?" "Mother, do you not welcome me back?" Zhao Yun pretended to be angry and asked. Liang Jinxiao explained, "How could that be? I thought you were going to stay for a while this time. I didn't expect that you would only stay for a few days." Zhao Yun naturally wouldn't tell Liang Jinxiao the reason why she came back. She was afraid that she would be worried. Daodu's father came back because he has something to do. No wonder. Important matters are more important. Go in and rest. Mother and your father will take care of the things in the carriage. Liang Jinxiao said, as if she was afraid that Zhao Yun would be tired. "It's okay, Mother. I'm not tired. We'll carry it ourselves." Mu Lianfeng also said, "Auntie, some things are heavier. Let me do it." Liang Jinxiao didn't refuse. "Okay, let's do it together." Zhao Yun's aunts and aunts also came forward to help. Chapter 1946. Please refresh the previous picture if you don't think it's the right one. Feng Xianxia listened to the things in Zhao Yun's car, which were piled up like a mountain. She could tell that these things were expensive at a glance. Shitzi was the best. He was from a wealthy family. There were so many good things at home. "Little girl Yun, you've brought back a lot of good things this time. What are they? Why don't you tell us about it?" Feng Xianxia asked in a flattering tone. Zhao Yun said faintly, "Nothing. Eldest aunt, you won't know even if I tell you. After all, you haven't seen them before. They are all things that we country people can't afford." Zhao Yun knew that Feng Xianxia liked to take advantage of small things. How could she be willing to tell Feng Xianxia these good things? Feng Xianxia pursed her lips and said, "Yun, if you don't tell us, we won't know what they are. Why don't you introduce them to us?" Zhao Yun snorted softly, "Eldest aunt, look at what you said. There are so many things in the car. How can I introduce them to you one by one?" Liang Jinxiao was a little embarrassed and said to Feng Xianxia, "Sister-in-law, they are all moving into the house now. Yun, it doesn't have so much time to introduce them slowly." Feng Xianxia was not a fool. How could she not know that this was an excuse? Staring at the things in the car, Feng Xianxia said with a little jealousy, "I can't help it. I'm not as lucky as you, third sister-in-law. You have such a capable daughter like Yun. We country people are not qualified to know these good things." Liang Jinxiao smiled embarrassedly and did not know how to respond. Zhao Yun replied indifferently, "Eldest aunt, what are you talking about? When eldest cousin passes the provincial examination and becomes an official, there will be many good things for eldest aunt to recognize in the future." Liang Jinxiao hurriedly responded, Yes, Yun is right. Sister-in-law, when Tianlong's child passes the provincial examination and becomes an official, you will also have these good things." After hearing Zhao Yun and Liang Jinxiao's words, Feng Xianxia's mood improved a lot. Thinking about it, it was reasonable. Tianlong was so good at studying. It was very reasonable for him to pass the provincial examination. When Tianlong became an official, she would be an official's wife. Right now, the third branch was just one step ahead of the first branch, so there was nothing to be jealous of. Feng Xianxia raised her chin. Yun and third sister-in-law are right. I hope that Tianlong can pass the provincial examination as soon as possible so that our old Zhao family can bring glory to our family. After all, Tianlong will definitely be the first person in our old Zhao family to pass the provincial examination. Sister-in-law, you can rest assured. Tianlong is very smart. This time, he will definitely pass the provincial examination. Liang Jinxiao did not know where he learned to flatter, but he said it to Feng Xianxia. That's right. Tianlong is God's favored son. There is no other person like him in the whole Shuilan village. It's not that there is no other person like him in Shuinan village. There is no other person like him in the whole town. Yes, It is difficult to find him in the whole town. After a round of flattery, the things in the carriage had been moved into the house. Feng Xianxia wanted the things that Zhao Yun brought back, but she was too embarrassed to ask. She could only wait for the other sisters-in-law to speak. She thought that the other sisters-in-law were the same as her. Qian Zhuzhao and Li Chuang did not mention a word. This made Feng Xianxia very anxious. Chapter 1947. Zhao Tianyu was pulling weeds behind the house, having a lot of fun alone. Feng Xianxia walked up to Zhao Tianyu and called out to him. Zhao Tianyu looked up at Feng Xianxia unhappily and said, "Aunt, you're blocking me. What are you doing?" Facing Zhao Tianyu's impolite behavior, Feng Xianxia was not angry. Instead, she smiled and said, "Tianyu, do you want to eat something delicious?" Zhao Tianyu paused and replied proudly, "Aren't you talking nonsense? Of course I want to eat." Feng Xianxia smiled and said, "You want to eat something good? Let me tell you, your sister Yuner brought back a lot of delicious food." Zhao Tianyu's eyes turned. He wanted to eat, but he knew that it was not easy to get food from Zhao Yun. So he replied unhappily, "What does it have to do with me that she brought it back? Anyway, she won't give it to me." "Well, you can still eat it." Zhao Tianyu continued to pull weeds, as if he had no interest. Feng Xianxia did not continue to argue and said directly, "Tianyu, you can ask your mother for it. Ask your mother to talk to your third aunt. They will definitely give it to you." "Auntie, is that true?" Zhao Tianyu asked in disbelief. Feng Xianxia nodded quickly and said, "Of course it's true. How can I lie to you about this?" Zhao Tianyu got up and said, "Well, I'll go talk to my mother." Feng Xianxia hurriedly reminded him, "Tianyu, eldest aunt is thinking about you. She wants you to cook something delicious. Don't tell her that it's eldest aunt who told you this." I know. Zhao Tianyu answered impatiently and hurried to the front of the yard. Feng Xianxia continued to dawdle for a while and pretended to go to the toilet. Then she slowly went to the front yard. Zhao Tianyu came up to Li Chuang and waved her hand. "Mother, I want to eat delicious food. I want to eat delicious food." Li Chuang looked at Zhao Tianyu. Li Chuang frowned. "What nonsense are you talking about? Where can I get you something delicious to eat?" Zhao Tianyu pointed at the things that Zhao Yun had brought back into the house and said, "Mother, Sister Yun brought back so much delicious food. I want to eat it too." Li Chuang looked embarrassed. What Zhao Yun brought back was brought back by Zhao Yun. It had nothing to do with her family. Could it be that she was going to ask Zhao Yun for it? "Good boy, Tianyu. Don't make a fuss. Those are Sister Yun's food. What do you want to eat? I'll buy it in Yang City when I have time." Zhao Tianyu pursed his lips and said stubbornly, "Mother, you've said this so many times. You still haven't bought anything delicious for me. I don't care. I want it. I want it." Zhao Tianyu said as he sat on the ground without caring about anything else. He opened his legs wide and looked like he was acting shamelessly. Li Chuang looked at him helplessly and hurriedly tugged at Zhao Tianyu. "Child, what are you doing? Get up quickly." "Mother, I want to eat delicious food. If I can't eat delicious food, I won't get up." Seeing that Zhao Tianyu was being disobedient, Li Chuang was so angry that her chest heaved up and down. She urged him, "Get up, get up. If you don't get up, Mother will be angry." "No, I won't. I want to eat good food. Otherwise, I won't get up." Chapter 1948. Are you going to get up or not? If you don't get up, I'm going to beat you with a stick. Zhao Tianyu was not afraid of Li Chuang's threat at all. He showed his trump card and sat on the ground crying, "Mother, you're so mean. You won't give me good food to eat. I won't like you anymore." Li Chuang sighed heavily when she saw Zhao Tianyu crying. She wondered why she had given birth to such a son who liked to make a fuss in front of her. Zhao Tianyu's spoiled and willful temperament had something to do with her. If she had not spoiled Zhao Tianyu too much, Zhao Tianyu would not have become like this. She could not continue to spoil him. Otherwise, who knew what Zhao Tianyu would become in the future? Just as Li Chuang was about to teach Zhao Tianyu a lesson with the stick, Liang Jinqiao hurriedly stopped her. "Second sister-in-law, forget it. The child needs some food. Don't hit him. Third sister-in-law, don't stop me. Where do you think I'm going to get food for him? I'll ask Yun'er to get some for you. Tianyu is still young. He only eats a little. He hasn't done anything bad. As Liang Jinxiao spoke, he walked in front of Zhao Yun and discussed with Zhao Yun. Among the things they brought back, Zhao Yun had prepared a box of pastries for the second branch of the family. Now, she simply gave it to Li Chuang. She took out a box of pastries and handed it to Li Chuang. Second auntie, here, these are for your family. Have you tried the pastries from Yang City? They taste very good. Li Chuang saw the exquisite pastries and was too embarrassed to accept them. They were obviously very valuable. She could accept ordinary things, but she was too ashamed to accept such valuable things. Yun'er, you're too polite. You should keep the good stuff for yourself. Why did you make it for me? Second sister-in-law, don't be so polite. Yun'er asked you to take it, so just take it. Liang Jinxiao stuffed the cake into Li Chuang's hand. Li Chuang still wanted to refuse, but Zhao Tianyu immediately rushed to Li Chuang's side and snatched the pastries from Li Chuang's hands. He grabbed one and stuffed it into his mouth. By the time Li Chuang reacted, Zhao Tianyu had already eaten one and was about to grab a second one. You child. Li Chuang looked at Zhao Tianyu helplessly. At this moment, she couldn't return it to Zhao Yun, or even if she wanted to. Liang Jinxiao patted Li Chuang's shoulder and said, Okay. The child ate it. Don't argue with the child. Li Chuang replied apologetically, Third sister-in-law, you and Yun'er have spent so much money. Second sister-in-law, what are you saying? We're family. Why are you being so polite? Feng Xianxia saw that she had succeeded in her goal and hurriedly chimed in. That's right, second sister-in-law. You and third sister-in-law are too polite. We're sisters-in-law, not others. We're family. Why are you being so polite? Yun'er gave it to you, so just accept it. She's filial to you. Our old Zhao family is blessed to have such a filial daughter like Yun'er. The reason why she flattered Zhao Yun'er was that she wanted Zhao Yun'er to take out the first branch's share. Li Chuang smiled and didn't say anything. His heart still ached for the box of pastries Zhao Yun'er gave him. Chapter 1949. Could it be that Zhao Yun'er was not going to give it to them? How could that be? Why did she give it to the second branch but not the first branch? They were all relatives, so they should be treated fairly, right? Zhao Yun'er did not speak up, but when she did, she felt embarrassed. Feng Xianxia felt a little uncomfortable sitting there, and her heart was burning with anxiety. In the end, she could not take it anymore and said to Zhao Yun, what are the pastries you brought back? How does it taste? We have never eaten them before. When she said this, she meant that she wanted Zhao Yun to give her some to try. Liang Jinxiao had no choice but to say, Yun, can you give a box to your eldest aunt and fourth aunt too? Zhao Yun agreed, but she was not too willing to give the pastries to Feng Xianxia. Zhao Yun casually picked 2 boxes of the same kind and gave 1 box to each branch. Fortunately, she brought back a lot of pastries this time and reserved some for Mulan, so it was enough for the whole family. After receiving the pastries, Feng Xianxia smiled contentedly and thanked Zhao Yun. However, she could only bear to eat 1 piece of the entire box of pastries. She would bring the rest back for Zhao Wenshi, her daughter-in-law, and her grandson. As for Qian Zurio, she only ate 1 piece and handed 1 to Li Chuang. The second branch's box of pastries was all taken by Zhao Tianyu, so Li Chuang could not eat a single piece. After tasting the pastries, Feng Xianxia sighed, no wonder everyone wants to live a rich life. The food and drinks here are indeed different from ordinary food, and the taste is really good. How good would it be if we could eat them every day? Qian Zurio joked, Sister-in-law, wait until Tianlong becomes a high scholar. When he becomes an official, your wish will be fulfilled and you will be able to eat them every day. Feng Xianxia smiled from ear to ear. If that's really the case, then I will definitely bring more back for all of you to eat. The few sisters-in-law were chatting happily, and the topic slowly shifted to Zhao Xinhui. Feng Xianxia said mysteriously to her other sisters-in-law, There's something I don't know if you've heard. Qian Zhozha asked curiously, What is it? Feng Xianxia said, Yesterday, I was chatting with Sister Lu in the village. I heard something about our little sister. What's wrong with our little sister? Several sisters-in-law started gossiping. I don't know if it's true or not. Big Sister Lu also received this news from Sun City. She heard that after her little sister married into the Huang Manor, she was dishonest and had an affair with the Huang Manor's servants. She was caught by young Master Huang. Young Master Huang directly taught his little sister a lesson and threw her out of the Huang residence. It could be said that he had divorced his little sister. Didn't his little sister go to Yang City that day? You're back, and aren't you injured? The sisters-in-law thought about it, and it seemed that it was true that day. It can't be, right? Liang Jinxiao asked with a frown. Doesn't young Master Huang treat my little sister well? Would his little sister be so foolish as to have an affair with a servant? Would she do something so indecent? Feng Xianxia said in a sharp voice. That's not necessarily true. Third sister-in-law, you don't understand my little sister. My little sister is usually spoiled by our mother and is immature. It's not impossible for her to do something like that. Perhaps young Master Huang is rich but not good in that aspect. She couldn't bear the loneliness and had an affair with a servant. Chapter 1950. Liang Jinxiao recalled the rumors about Zhao Yuner in the village. He knew that many people like to make things up, so he said, that's not necessarily true. You can't speak without evidence. Feng Xianxia suddenly said, how can there be no evidence? What those people said is not impossible. Think about it. How long has Xiaomei stayed at home? If nothing happened, why didn't young Master Huang take her back? Why did he leave her alone in the countryside to suffer? I noticed that mother's mood was not very good these days. It seems that something really happened. After listening to Feng Xiangxia's words, the sisters-in-law fell into silence. After a while, Qian Zhozhi said, if that's really the case, what should we do? Xiaomei can't always stay at old Zhao's house, right? Isn't that so? Xiaomei will definitely be laughed at home, and we will be laughed at too. Xiaomei married so grandly before, I'm afraid that she will only become the joke of Shuilan village in the future. Then it's better for Xiaomei to marry off. Yes, it's a good thing for us if Xiaomei marries off. At home, mother always has some conflicts with us because of Xiaomei. With Xiaomei's qualifications after being divorced by young Master Huang, it will be difficult for her to remarry, right? Those with good qualifications won't like Xiaomei, and those with bad qualifications are afraid that Xiaomei and mother won't like them. Speaking of this, Feng Xiangxia's interest was piqued. She quickly said, don't you know? Qin Yuan seems to like Xiaomei very much, and Xiaomei is also a little interested in him. Recently, Qin Yuan has been visiting Xiaomei from time to time. Who knows when the two of them will get together? Feng Xiangxia blurted out without thinking. She did not notice that she was in front of Liang Jinxiao, and Qin Yuan was Liang Jinxiao's son-in-law and Zhao Pinger's husband. Qian Zhozhi quickly poked Feng Xiangxia's arm and winked at her. Only then did Feng Xiangxia react. The third sister-in-law, I just said it casually. Don't take it to heart. A look of worry appeared on Liang Jinxiao's face. Sister-in-law, is what you said true? Qin Yuan even went to visit little sister recently? This? Feng Xiangxia hesitated for a moment, not knowing how to answer. Sister-in-law, just tell me the truth. There's no need to hide it. I just want to know. Feng Xiangxia then responded, third sister-in-law, your son-in-law is really not an honest person. You say, the two of them are one generation apart. What is the meaning of getting together? I'm just afraid that little sister will go back and look for that kid Qin Yuan to take over. Inger will have to suffer. Liang Jinxiao sighed, looking a little anxious. Feng Xiangxia regretted her words and hurriedly persuaded her, third sister-in-law, I'm just saying it casually. It's not necessarily true. Qian Zhozhi also hurriedly comforted her, third sister-in-law, don't think too much. There shouldn't be anything between the two of them. Qin Yuan wouldn't do such a foolish thing. If they really get together, mother will definitely not agree. After all, it's incest. If people find out, won't they laugh at our old Zhao family? Yes. It's impossible for them to be together. Feng Xianxia agreed. Unexpectedly, Liang Jinxiao said, "It's none of my business whether they get together or not. No matter how much Ping suffers, I won't care. You have to be responsible for the man you chose. Who can you blame if you can't watch over him?" Chapter 1951. This time, even if Zhao Xinhui and Qin Yuan did something, she wouldn't ask about it. After all, it was Zhao Ping's own choice, so she should bear the consequences herself. Feng Xianxia and Qian Hongzhao both smiled and didn't know how to respond. They didn't know if Liang Jinxiao said this to comfort himself or if Liang Jinxiao really thought this way. Okay, let's not talk about this anymore. Third sister-in-law, it's getting late, so we'll go back first. We still have to make lunch when we get back. Feng Xianxia stood up and said goodbye. Okay, then you can go back. Be careful on the road. The sisters-in-law stood up and left Zhao Yun's courtyard one after another. Feng Xianxia was in a good mood because she received pastries from Zhao Yun, so she was very happy along the way. When the sisters-in-law arrived at old Zhao's house, they found that Zhao Ping and Qin Yuan had come over again. This time, Qin Yuan brought things over as usual. They were all good things to nourish Zhao Xinhui's body. Seeing this, Feng Xianxia muttered, "Look, Pinger's man is here again. Now he's becoming more and more open. If others see this, it won't be good. Do you want to remind Mother? Let Mother tell her not to let Pinger's man continue to come here. If he comes here too many times, it will be hard to avoid being discovered by the villagers. When that time comes, it will be a bit embarrassing." Qian Zhozhi sighed and suggested. Li Chuiying frowned and said, "I don't think Mother will listen. Qin Yuan brings good things every time he comes over, and Mother is a greedy person. She definitely won't chase him away." Feng Xianxia agreed. "Second sister-in-law, you're right. Mother is indeed that kind of person. If she has good things, she won't chase people away." Qian Hongzhao was still worried and said, "Whether or not she will is one thing, and whether or not we remind her is another. I'm afraid that if something goes wrong, our whole old Zhao family will be laughed at together. Eldest sister-in-law, Sky Dragon will be taking the imperial examinations soon. If he really becomes an official, his family can't have any black marks. If Pinger's man got together with his little sister, it would be incest. If this matter is known by others, even if Sky Dragon becomes a high-ranking official, he will definitely be laughed at in the officialdom." Feng Xianxia originally didn't care about the matter, but now that she heard Qian's dates spouting nonsense, she immediately became anxious. After all, what Qian Zhozhi said was not without reason. If Zhao Tianlong really passed the high scholar examination and became an official, the incest incident in his family would affect him. Even if she didn't want to get involved, she had no choice but to do so. Feng Xianxia said, "Fourth sister-in-law, you're right. It's necessary to remind Mother about this matter. Don't let our old Zhao family become a joke of incest." "Yes, eldest sister-in-law, why don't you go and tell her about this matter?" Qian Hongzhao said. The reason why Qian Hongzhao didn't go by herself was that she was careful. After all, she didn't know Hua Chunhua's attitude. If she said something bad and made Hua Chunhua angry, it would be a thankless task. If she let Feng Xianxia go, even if Hua Chunhua was angry, she would be scolding Feng Xianxia and not her. After living for so long, although she was usually enthusiastic about helping others, she wasn't stupid enough to rush to the front of everything. The most important thing as a person was to not let oneself suffer too much. It was a good thing to be more careful in old Zhao family. Chapter 1952. Qian Hongzhao nodded. "That's right, sister-in-law. We don't have anything to do with it, but it's your family's Tianlong." Seeing that Feng Xianxia didn't want to go, Qian Hongzhao purposely said this so that Feng Xianxia wouldn't be able to push the blame onto someone else. Feng Xianxia still looked unwilling, but when she thought about the consequences if Zhao Tianlong became an official, she could only grit her teeth and say, "All right, I'll go tell Mother." Sigh. Feng Xianxia was secretly worried that Hua Chunhua would scold her, but there was no room for retreat. Feng Xianxia slowly walked over to Hua Chunhua. "Mother, I have something to tell you." Hua Chunhua raised her eyebrows and replied, "If you have something to say, Just say it. Feng Xianxia smiled sheepishly. Mother, it's about little sister and Qin Yuan's child. Hua Chunhua frowned. What's up with the two of them? Mother, that kid Qin Yuan always comes to old Zhao's house to visit little sister. It's not very good, right? What's not good about it? Every time he comes, he brings something with him. Look, this time he brought longans back from Yang City. It's very nourishing when stewed with brown sugar. Hua Chunhua said as she waved the longans in her hand, looking very satisfied. Mother, bringing things is one thing, but it's not good for him to come. There's been some gossip in the village, saying that our little sister and Ping'er's man are having an affair. Many people are secretly laughing at us. Also, about little sister. The villagers say that little sister was chased away by young Master Huang and can't return to the Huang estate anymore. Feng Xianxia said weakly as she anxiously observed Hua Chunhua's expression, afraid that Hua Chunhua would scold her. As expected, Hua Chunhua's expression darkened when she heard Feng Xianxia's words. She didn't expect that news of young Master Huang chasing away Zhao Xinhui would spread to the village. It was true that paper couldn't wrap fire. Some things would be exposed one day. And this matter was very embarrassing. Originally, it was fine if the villagers didn't know about it, but obviously, everyone knew about it. Hua Chunhua only felt a burning pain on her face. Hua Chunhua's lips trembled. What? Are these rumors spreading from the village? Hua Chunhua answered with a guilty conscience. What she said was the truth, and the first part was made up by herself. She wanted Hua Chunhua to pay attention to it and not let Qin Yuan come to old Zhao's house again. Hua Chunhua was silent for a moment. How dare those lowly bastards say such things? How infuriating! Mother, gossip is a fearful thing. We don't know if little sister's story is true or not. They're just hearsay. When the time comes, we can just deny it. But there's evidence that Ping'er's man is having an affair with little sister. Qin Yuan comes to old Zhao's house all the time. The villagers aren't blind or stupid. Naturally, they can see the clues. Feng Xianxia rolled her eyes as she continued speaking. Hua Chunhua pursed her lips. What's wrong with that? Ping'er's man is your little sister's junior. Since little sister is injured, he came to visit her and bought some things to show his filial piety. What's there to say about that? Hua Chunhua didn't seem to have any intention of chasing away Qin Yuan's man. She was probably thinking about the little things that Qin Yuan had given her. Feng Xianxia immediately panicked. She silently cursed Hua Chunhua for being so greedy. She didn't realize the severity of the consequences. Wasn't she afraid of delaying her eldest grandson? Chapter 1953. Hua Chunhua's face twitched. She knew that Feng Xianxia's words made sense. The villagers were not stupid. How could they not see the clues? Even if Qin Yuan really came here to be filial, those gossipy old women loved to stir up trouble. They would gossip about things and hope that others would make a fool of themselves. Now that the news of incest had spread, how could old Zhao's family face the villagers in the future? Seeing Hua Chunhua frowning and thinking, Feng Xianxia said, Mother, I think we should ask Qin Yuan not to come here again. If he doesn't come, the rumors will slowly die down. Otherwise, it will damage our little sister's reputation. Old Zhao's family will also be too ashamed to walk around the village. Hua Chunhua thought about it and felt that Qin Yuan shouldn't come here again. Okay, I'll go talk to him. But Feng Xianxia finally convinced Hua Chunhua. She heaved a sigh of relief. Hua Chunhua ran into the room to talk to Qin Yuan. Zhao Ping sat alone in the courtyard while Qin Yuan went to Zhao Xinhui's room. Although she wanted to go with him, Qin Yuan wouldn't let her. Zhao Ping was afraid that Qin Yuan would be angry, so she could only stay in old Zhao's courtyard obediently. Qin Yuan had been here for a while. Every time Zhao Xinhui was here, he would ask about Zhao Xinhui's well-being. At that time, Zhao Xinhui's body and mind were very weak. As a result, Qin Yuan quickly walked into Zhao Xinhui's heart. Qin Yuan was good-looking and very considerate to Zhao Xinhui. Most importantly, he was obedient. Zhao Xinhui compared Qin Yuan with young Master Huang. She felt that Qin Yuan was no worse than young Master Huang except for the fact that he didn't have money. Money could be slowly made up for. Now, even if the family was poor, they were not as poor as before. Because he sold the pig offal, he slowly began to accumulate some money. While chatting with Qin Yuan, Zhao Xinhui came up with an idea, which was to let Qin Yuan open a restaurant. He could earn so much money by selling pig offal every day. If he opened a restaurant and sold other dishes every day, he could earn even more money. The pig offal could be used as the restaurant's signature dish to attract business. As long as they hired a good chef, they wouldn't have to worry about not having business for a long time. Sun City was considered a rich place in the great Zhou country. If one properly managed the restaurant, they would earn quite a bit of money. However, opening a restaurant was not a small expense. From renting the storefront, to renovating and hiring workers, it would cost at least 100 to 200 taels of silver to set up a restaurant. The current Qin Yuan couldn't fork out so much money, but Zhao Xinhui could. The gold, silver, and jewelry that young Master Huang gave her added up to over 1,000 taels of silver. It was enough for her to live for the rest of her life. If she wanted to be richer in the future, she couldn't just sit around and eat until she ran out of money. She had to do business to earn money. When Qin Yuan saw that Zhao Xinhui was willing to fork out money to open a restaurant for him, he was very excited. If he really opened a restaurant, he would earn more money than he did now. If he could earn a lot of money every day, wouldn't he become rich very quickly? You're so good. You're always thinking for me. Now you're even willing to fork out money for me to open a restaurant. Qin Yuan held Zhao Xinhui's hand and said excitedly. Zhao Xinhui smiled sweetly. I'm willing to fork out money for you to open a restaurant because I want you to earn more money in the future. Only then can you bring me to a better life. Chapter 1954. Zhao Xinhui blushed. You can say that now, but you won't forget about me when you become rich, right? Qin Yuan quickly raised his hand and swore, what are you talking about? Don't you know how sincere I am towards you? You're the only person I'll love in this lifetime. No matter if I'm rich or poor, you're the only one I'll love. If I forget about you when I become rich, then I'll be struck by lightning and die a horrible death. Zhao Xinhui quickly covered Qin Yuan's mouth. All right, I believe you. Don't curse yourself anymore. Qin Yuan laughed happily. Qin Yuan's heart was filled with anticipation when he thought about the wonderful life they would have in the future. The two of them hugged each other intimately. At the same time, they began to fantasize. If we really earn enough money, we can buy a house in Yang City and hire a few servants to take care of your daily needs. We won't be staying in a barren place like the countryside. You can have anything you want to eat or play with. Yang City is very convenient. Zhao Xinhui's heart skipped a beat when she heard this. If they really bought a house in Yang City and hired servants, even though it wouldn't be as good as the Huang residences, they would still be able to live the life of a master. Most importantly, she would be the mistress of the house. She could do whatever she wanted and wouldn't have to care about other people's opinions. Zhao Xinhui planned to marry Qin Yuan when the business of Qin Yuan's restaurant improved. However, she remembered that Qin Yuan still had Zhao Ping'er by his side. If she married Qin Yuan, would she be his wife or concubine? It was fine if she became young Master Huang's concubine, but if she became Qin Yuan's concubine, her status would be lower than Zhao Ping'er's. Zhao Xinhui wasn't happy about it. Thus, Zhao Xinhui asked Qin Yuan, if I marry you in the future, what are you going to do with Zhao Ping'er? Let me tell you, I won't be a concubine, and I won't share a man with Ping'er last to avoid being laughed at. Qin Yuan hurriedly said, don't worry about this matter. When you marry me, I will divorce Ping'er. Zhao Xinhui frowned. Thinking about it, it seemed to be too cruel to Zhao Xinhui. He said, it's not good to divorce Ping'er, right? That Ping'er girl is too pitiful. Qin Yuan praised Zhao Xinhui. You're too kind. Why do you still care about Zhao Ping'er? She's so ugly and she's so ugly. It's normal for her to be divorced. Which man can stand her? Zhao Xinhui pondered for a moment. Although Ping'er is stupid, she listens to you. She's pregnant with your family Qin's child. If you divorce her, you'll be criticized. Your parents will definitely not agree. Qin Yuan couldn't help but ask, there's no point in worrying so much. Don't tell me we're not going to divorce Zhao Ping? Wouldn't that be unfair to you? Zhao Xinhui's eyes darted around. He calculated and said, Qin Yuan, don't you have an idiot older brother? Why don't we let Zhao Ping be his wife? This doesn't count as driving her out. We'll be able to live a good life and bring her along. We're already doing our best. Upon hearing Zhao Xinhui's words, Qin Yuan readily agreed. That's a good idea. It's good to keep Zhao Xinhui as my older brother's wife. The child in her belly might even be my older brother's. Chapter 1955. Alright, it's decided then. Zhao Xinhui was also very satisfied with this outcome. The two of them snuggled up to each other, and their love for each other grew stronger. After Hua Chunhua entered the house, she saw Zhao Xinhui and Qin Yuan being lovey-dovey. Hua Chunhua's face immediately fell. She didn't expect the two of them to progress so quickly and even get together. If this continued, they would really end up together. Without even thinking, Hua Chunhua was certain that it was Qin Yuan who had seduced his Hui. Thus, she let out a torrent of abuse. Shameless thing, you even dare to touch my Hui. Hurry and get out of my way. Qin Yuan was so frightened that he hurriedly retreated to the side. His mouth trembled as he explained, Grandma, my aunt and I are in love. Hua Chunhua spat at Qin Yuan. Bah, why don't you take a piss and look at yourself in the mirror? Do you think you're good enough for Hui? Grandma? Qin Yuan called out weakly. In front of Hua Chunhua, he couldn't muster up much courage because he knew that Hua Chunhua looked down on him. Who asked them to be poor? They were used to being looked down upon by others. Hua Chunhua said with a cold face, Let me tell you, there are already rumors in the village. It's bad for Hui's reputation. I think you shouldn't come to my house next time. Qin Yuan immediately became anxious. Grandma, if I don't come, how can I see my aunt? All right. In any case, don't be a toad lusting after a swan's meat and have designs on our family's Hui. If I tell you not to come, then don't come. What's the point of saying so much nonsense? Hua Chunhua scolded in displeasure. Qin Yuan's pleading gaze fell on Zhao Xinhui. Zhao Xinhui quickly tugged at Hua Chunhua. Mother, what are you doing? Qin Yuan came over because he cares about me. How can you let him go? Hua Chunhua sighed and spoke to Zhao Xinhui in a much gentler tone. I'm doing this for your own good. The people in the village are too mean. Don't let him come over again. What they say is their own business. Let's do our own thing. Why do we have to care about what others say? Seeing this, Hua Chunhua asked anxiously, don't tell me you've taken a liking to this guy? You'll lead a hard life if you're with him. Moreover, he's Pinger's man. If you're with him, wouldn't it be incest? That's what the villagers are laughing at. Zhao Xinhui shouted, Mother, when the time comes, Qin Yuan can just divorce Ping. Now that the family isn't as poor as before, they're even preparing to open a restaurant. When the restaurant's business is good and it makes a lot of money, not only will you not lead a hard life but you'll also be able to enjoy life with him. Hua Chunhua gaped in surprise. What? Qin Yuan is opening a restaurant? Yes, Mother. Do you think opening a restaurant in Yang City will make money? Although Hua Chunhua didn't know much, she knew that opening a restaurant would definitely make money. He's so capable now? Hua Chunhua muttered in surprise. Mother, won't you find out in the future whether it's true or not? That's true. But do you mean that you're really willing to be with this guy? Zhao Xinhui frowned. Mother, look at me. I've already been divorced by my husband's family. How can I find a good in-law? Chapter 1956. Hua Chunhua did not reply, but she took Zhao Xinhui's words to heart. If that was the case, then Qin Yuan was indeed a good choice. She was afraid that Qin Yuan did not have the ability to fool Zhao Xinhui. Her daughter was also very naive and would believe whatever others said. If that brat really becomes successful in the future, you won't object to being together with him. But before that, it's best to avoid him. So it's best if you don't come to Qin Yuan so that people won't gossip. Hua Chunhua said firmly. Mother. Zhao Xinhui tried to persuade Hua Chunhua, but before she could finish, she was rejected by Hua Chunhua. There's no room for discussion. You have to think about me, your father, and our old Zhao family. So many people are waiting to laugh at us. You're already so old, so you should be more sensible. I'm not completely against it. When Qin Yuan becomes successful, I'll come and look for you in a grand manner. Isn't that good? Seeing that there was no room for negotiation, Zhao Xinhui could only say, all right then. Mother, can you let me talk to Qin Yuan alone for a while? Let him go after I'm done, okay? Hua Chunhua reluctantly nodded in agreement. Okay, let him hurry up. Okay. After Hua Chunhua left, Qin Yuan approached Zhao Xinhui with an anxious expression. What should I do now? I feel uneasy if I don't see you for a day. Didn't you hear what my mother said? If you want to see me sooner and be with me sooner, then hurry up and open the restaurant. Once you've earned enough money, won't we be able to see each other every day? Zhao Xinhui said coquettishly. Qin Yuan was immediately filled with enthusiasm when he heard this. Okay, then I'll open the restaurant as soon as possible. I'll definitely bring you to a good life. I'll marry you as soon as possible. Zhao Xinhui smiled, took out a money bag and handed it to the Qin Yuan. This is the capital. Take it. Don't let me down. Qin Yuan took the bag of silver ingots and estimated that there were more than 100 taels of silver. It was enough to open a restaurant. Qin Yuan nodded solemnly. I'll work hard for you. Trust me. Zhao Xinhui threw herself into Qin Yuan's arms and said softly, although I won't be able to see you for a while, I know that it's for the sake of a better start for us. Qin Yuan, I hope you can succeed this time. Qin Yuan lowered his head and kissed Zhao Xinhui's forehead. He replied dotingly, don't worry, I won't let you down. The two of them were reluctant to part. Just then, they heard Hua Chunhua impatiently standing in the courtyard and urging them to leave. Qin Yuan reluctantly let go of Zhao Xinhui and said to Zhao Xinhui, I'll leave first. Take good care of yourself. Yes, I will. Zhao Xinhui nodded heavily. The two of them were like a couple in love. When they parted, they were full of reluctance. Old Zhao's sisters-in-law finally breathed a sigh of relief when they heard that Qin Yuan had been driven away by Hua Chunhua. Feng Xianxia sighed. Fortunately, Mother isn't too unreasonable. Otherwise, I wouldn't know what to do. Fortunately, Qian Hongzhao said. Now we don't have to worry anymore. Sister-in-law, let's go make dinner. It's getting late. Chapter 1957. How could they have disappeared? Feng Xianxia rummaged through the cupboard a few more times, but she still couldn't find them. Her face instantly darkened. Unless they had been stolen, it was impossible for them to disappear without a trace. Unfortunately, her sisters-in-law had all gone to Liang Jinxiao's place to chat during the day, and they weren't in old Zhao's courtyard. Feng Xianxia hurriedly looked for Hua Chunhua and asked her about it. Mother, did you see any outsiders coming to our house today? What outsiders? Other than Pinger and Qin Yuan, I didn't see anyone else coming to our house. Feng Xianxia thought for a moment. Zhao Pinger had been sitting in the courtyard the whole time, and she didn't see anything in her pocket when she came back. Besides, Zhao Pinger and Qin Yuan both looked very rich and had sent so many good things over. How could they have gone through so much trouble just to steal 2 eggs? Since it wasn't an outsider and it wasn't Zhao Pinger or Qin Yuan, did it mean that it was a family member who had stolen the eggs? Feng Xianxia suspected that it was either Hua Chunhua or Zhao Wenshui who had stolen the eggs. Hua Chunhua usually liked to take advantage of small things. Perhaps she had seen the 2 eggs in her house and casually took them and gave them to Zhao Xinhui to nourish her body. Zhao Wenshui was a glutton. Previously, he had even secretly drunk the chicken soup, so it was even more likely that he had stolen the 2 eggs in her house. Feng Xianxia frowned and asked Hua Chunhua cautiously, Mother, did you see the 2 eggs in my cupboard? Hua Chunhua replied with a puzzled expression, How would I know if there were eggs in your cupboard? Why are you asking me this? Feng Xianxia smiled embarrassedly. Mother, The 2 eggs in my cupboard suddenly disappeared, so I came over to ask if you saw them. Huochunhua's face darkened. She was not a fool. How could she not know what Feng Xianxia meant? She then yelled at Feng Xianxia, "You black-hearted woman, how dare you suspect this old woman? Am I that kind of person?" Feng Xianxia quickly smiled apologetically. "Mother, don't be angry. I didn't mean it that way." "You don't mean that? Then what do you mean?" "I just asked casually. I didn't say it was you." "Bah!" Huochunhua spat a mouthful of saliva on the ground. "If I wanted to take it, I wouldn't have stolen it. I would have just asked you for it." "Yes, yes, yes." Feng Xianxia quickly responded. Huochunhua rolled her eyes a few times and went into the kitchen. Meanwhile, Feng Xianxia was really thinking about the whereabouts of her 2 eggs. Since it wasn't Huochunhua who took it, it must be Zhao Wenshui. At the thought of this, Feng Xianxia felt a little angry and rushed into the second branch's room. The moment Feng Xianxia walked into Zhao Wenshui's room, she shouted angrily at Zhao Wenshui, "Second brother." Zhao Wenshui was lying on the bed. When he saw Feng Xianxia come in, he immediately smiled apologetically and said, "Sister-in-law, what are you doing in my room?" Before Feng Xianxia could question Zhao Wenshui rolled his eyes and muttered to himself, "Sister-in-law, if you miss me, you don't have to come to my room in broad daylight. This is too blatant. You should tell me secretly that we're going out at night." Hearing Zhao Wenshui's filthy words, Feng Xianxia's face instantly turned red. Chapter 1958. Fortunately, no one in the house heard her. Otherwise, she wouldn't be able to explain herself. Zhao Wenshui was shameless, but she was. If someone with ulterior motives heard this and spread rumors, she would be too ashamed to continue staying in the village. Zhao Wenshui smiled wickedly and said, "Sister-in-law, you're much prettier than my wife. I know Big Brother has been injured recently, so there's definitely nothing going on between the 2 of you. You must be feeling lonely and want someone to help you loosen the soil, right? Sister-in-law, you've found the right person. I'll definitely work harder than Big Brother." Feng Xianxia's face turned even redder. She spat on Zhao Wenshui's face and said, "Second brother, what nonsense are you talking about? You only have these dirty thoughts in your head. I'm telling you, don't talk nonsense with me. There's nothing going on between the 2 of us. Don't make it sound like there's something going on between us." Zhao Wenshui was stunned and a touch of disappointment appeared between his eyebrows. "Sister-in-law, if you didn't come looking for me because of this, then why did you come to my house?" Feng Xianxia was furious at Zhao Wenshui. "Second brother, did you steal the 2 eggs in my cupboard?" "Sister-in-law?" Zhao Wenshui felt guilty and didn't know how to respond. He had indeed stolen the 2 eggs in the cupboard in the first room. Because he had slept until dawn and Li Chuang wasn't home when he woke up, he couldn't find anything to eat in the kitchen. He didn't have to think about it to know that his wife must have done it on purpose. In the end, he could only look in the cupboard in the first room. When he saw the 2 eggs, he cooked them and ate them to fill his stomach. Unexpectedly, Feng Xianxia came looking for him. Seeing Zhao Wenshui's reaction, Feng Xianxia knew very well that Zhao Wenshui must have stolen the 2 eggs. She couldn't help but scold him again. "Second brother, aren't you going too far? Why did you have to be a thief? I only had a few eggs left at home, and you stole them. What do you want my Yang to eat?" Zhao Wenshui hurriedly said, "Sister-in-law, don't be angry. It's just 2 eggs. I was hungry during the day, so I cooked it and ate it. I didn't steal it. Originally, I wanted to wait for you to come back and tell you. Now that you've come to ask me about it, I'll compensate you. I'll compensate you, all right?" Feng Xianxia's expression softened a little. If Zhao Wenshui was willing to compensate, she could forgive him. "Second brother, 1 egg is 1 copper coin, but you took 2 of my eggs without my permission, so you have to compensate me with 1 copper coin. Give me 3 copper coins." Zhao Wenshui replied with a smile, Okay, sister-in-law. 3 yuan it is." When Feng Xianxia saw that Zhao Wenshui was so easy to talk to, she was secretly happy that she had gotten a copper coin for free. However, he didn't show it on his face. Instead, he said to Zhao Wenshui, "Second brother, at least you know your place. Hurry up and give me the 3 copper coins." But Zhao Wenshui answered, then eagerly went to rummage through the boxes and cabinets. Zhao Wenshui took out 3 copper coins from the box and handed it to Feng Xianxia. Feng Xianxia took it, but Zhao Wenshui grabbed Feng Xianxia's hand. Feng Xianxia exclaimed, "Second brother, what are you doing?" Zhao Wenshui smiled wretchedly, "Sister-in-law, your hand is so beautiful. It feels so comfortable to touch." Chapter 1959. Zhao Wenshui dared to molest her. You let go of me." Feng Xianxia exclaimed in a low voice. She didn't dare to be too loud for fear of alarming the people outside. Zhao Wenshui pushed his luck. "Sister-in-law, I'm just touching you. It's no big deal, right? Don't go too far. I'm your sister-in-law. How can you molest me like this?" Zhao Wenshui still didn't intend to let go. "Sister-in-law, I just think you're prettier than my wife. I didn't dare to say it before, and I couldn't find a chance to say it. Now that you've come to me in person, I can't help it. Sister-in-law, look at big brother lying on the bed and can't move. How can a woman not have a man for so long? Let me help you." As Zhao Wenshui spoke, he pulled Feng Xianxia into his arms. Feng Xianxia struggled, but she couldn't break free from Zhao Wenshui's embrace. "Hurry up and let go of me. What are you doing? This is something only an animal would do." Zhao Wenshui leaned close to Feng Xianxia and sniffed her body. He said to Feng Xianxia, "Sister-in-law, you smell so good." "You're an animal." Feng Xianxia's face flushed and she cursed in a low voice. Go away, go away. If you don't let go, I'm going to scream. You'll be beaten to death for behaving like an animal." Zhao Wenshui smiled fawningly and said, "Sister-in-law, can you bear to see me get beaten up?" Feng Xianxia felt disgusted. "Bah, why can't I bear to see you get beaten up? Sister-in-law, I'm not worse than big brother. How can you be so cruel to me?" Feng Xianxia was very anxious. Zhao Wenshui refused to let go of her. She didn't know what to do now. Although Zhao Wenshui wasn't good at work, he was more than enough to deal with a woman like her. She couldn't break free, but she didn't dare to shout out loud. If someone saw this scene, it would be terrible. While she was worrying, Li Chuang and Qian Hongzhao suddenly rushed in. Li Chuang was going to give Qian Hongzhao some rags at home, but who knew that when she came in she would see Zhao Wenshui and Feng Xianxia hugging each other. What are you doing?" Li Chuang's eyes were filled with shock. Zhao Wenshui hurriedly let go of Feng Xianxia. Feng Xianxia hurriedly explained to Li Chuang, "Sister-in-law, it's not what you think." Li Chuang opened his mouth. "But sister-in-law, second sister-in-law, don't misunderstand. There's nothing between me and second brother. It's all second brother's fault. He insisted on carrying me over and doing what a beast would do," Feng Xianxia said, wiping the tears from the corner of her eyes. Thinking about it, she felt wronged. "Second brother, what's going on? How can you hug sister-in-law properly?" Qian Hongzhao asked with a frown. The more she thought about it, the more she felt that it was strange. Zhao Wenshui was at a loss for words. He didn't know how to explain. They were already seen, so he couldn't say that he didn't hug her. Li Chuang's resentful eyes fell on Zhao Wenshui. He snorted and said, "I think he's just lustful. He can't do anything to other people, so he wants to do something to sister-in-law." Li Chuang knew very well that with Zhao Wenshui's qualities, who would want him? He was lazy and lazy every day. Just looking at him was annoying. Chapter 1960. Zhao Wenshui's ears turned red. Although he was usually thick-skinned, he could not allow others to talk about him like that. He scolded Li Chuang, "You be asterisk, what nonsense are you talking about?" Li Chuang's neck was red as she said, "Isn't that right? Tianyu's father, it's fine that you did it in the past. I thought you would be a good person, but it seems like a leopard can't change its spots. You only want to do such dirty things." Feng Xianxia also hurriedly complained tearfully, "Second brother, I'm different from that widow Qian. I'm a decent woman. I won't do such things with you. If there's any bad news about me this time, I won't let you off. Zhao Wenshui's expression became even uglier. He clenched his fists. Li Chuang did not give him any face at all. He was her man after all. How could she talk about him like that in front of others? You ugly b****. If you dare to say anything more, I'll punish you. Qian Zondate hurriedly stood in front of Li Chuang and said to Zhao Wenshui unhappily, "Second brother, aren't you going too far? You're in the wrong this time. Why are you being so fierce to second sister-in-law?" Li Chuang complained tearfully, "Hasn't he always been like this? He's heartless. I must have been blind to live with him. When I came back for Jing'er's sake, I thought he would repent. Now I know that it's harder to get someone like him to repent than to reach the heavens." Qian Zondate looked at Li Chuang sympathetically. The most pitiful thing about a woman was that she married an unreliable man. Sometimes, it was fine to be a little poor. The most important thing was that both of them worked hard. As long as the man cherished the woman would also be able to live a happy life. However, his second brother was simply inhumane. He only knew how to do such dirty things and hurt Li Chuang time and time again. It was bad enough that he ordered Li Chuang around every day, but he was actually disloyal. Second sister-in-law, it's better to ask our father to uphold justice for this matter. Second brother must give you an explanation. We also need to give sister-in-law an explanation. How could our old Zhao family do such a thing? Qian Zhi said with a serious face. Okay. Li Chuang gritted his teeth and replied. She really needed an explanation for this matter. Anyway, she didn't want to continue living with Zhao Wenshui. Feng Xianxia also agreed. Yes, let father uphold justice for this matter. There is nothing between me and second brother, but he did such a thing to me. Zhao Wenshui was worried. If Zhao Benshan knew about it, he would break his legs. Thus, he begged with a bitter face, "Tianyu's mother, sister-in-law, I was wrong. I won't do it again. Please don't tell father about this matter, okay?" Li Chuang and Feng Xianxia had no intention of relenting. Zhao Wenshui became even more worried. "Wife, sister-in-law, please don't tell father. I really know I was wrong. Please forgive me this time." Li Chuang said coldly, "Tianyu's father, you have to have a conscience. Haven't I given you enough chances? How could you treat me like this? At this point, you still want me to give you another chance? Even if I let you go, shouldn't you be punished for treating sister-in-law like this?" Chapter 1961. Feng Xianxia wanted to prove her innocence. She couldn't let her two sisters-in-law misunderstand, and she couldn't let Zhao Wenshui treat her like this in the future. This matter had to be put on the table and made clear. If she punished Zhao Wenshui well, Zhao Wenshui probably wouldn't dare to do it again in the future. She couldn't be too merciful to this kind of person who couldn't change his habits. Second sister-in-law and fourth sister-in-law are right. Second brother, people like you who are worse than animals should be taught a lesson. Let father uphold justice for me. Feng Xianxia said with a cold face. Zhao Wenshui suddenly panicked. Sister-in-law, daughter-in-law. Ooh, I really don't dare. Please don't tell father. You can ask me to do anything in the future as long as you don't tell father. Looking at Zhao Wenshui's appearance, the women had a lot of disgust for him. He had the desire to do it but didn't have the courage. Didn't he think of the consequences of doing it? The three women ignored Zhao Wenshui and turned to leave the second branch's room. Zhao Baoshan just came back from working in the fields and was about to have lunch when he saw his daughters-in-law walk up to him with a strange expression. "What's wrong with you?" Zhao Baoshan asked casually. Feng Xianxia immediately cried and complained, "Father, you have to uphold justice for me." Zhao Baoshan frowned and replied, "What's wrong? What do you want me to uphold justice for? If you have something to say it clearly." Feng Xianxia cried and complained with snot and tears. After hearing Feng Xianxia's words, Zhao Baoshan's face had already darkened. He scolded, "That animal, doing all these dirty things. Eating all day long, being lazy, and doing things like stealing. I won't count him. Previously, I didn't care much about what he did to Widow Qian. Now, he has stretched his claws to the head of his own family and can do such things to his own sister-in-law. Isn't it shameful to say it out loud? You've really disgraced yourself, and you've also disgraced our whole family. If I don't teach him a lesson today, my surname isn't Zhao anymore. Zhao Baoshan was so angry that he wanted to skin Zhao Wenshui alive. If this matter was spread out, they would become a laughingstock. In the future, old Zhao's family would not be able to raise their heads in the village. Where's Lao Er? Where's Lao Er? Seeing that Zhao Wenshui was not in front of him, Zhao Baoshan shouted. At this moment, Zhao Wenshui didn't dare to come out. He directly hid under the bed, afraid that Zhao Baoshan would find him. Father, second brother is still in the room. Qian Zhui replied. Zhao Baoshan walked around the courtyard and rushed into the second branch's room with a wooden stick in his hand. You bastard, hurry up and come out. Zhao Wenshui was so scared that he shivered and hid under the bed, not daring to make a sound. When Zhao Baoshan saw that there was no one in the room, he grumbled unhappily, Where is she? Where is she? Where did she go? Just now, Zhao Wenshui didn't come out and didn't leave the courtyard, so he must still be in the second branch's room. Li Chuanying replied, Father, she must still be hiding in the room. Zhao Baoshan immediately scolded, Stinking brat, you bastard, where did you hide? Hurry up and come out. If you don't come out, I'll teach you a lesson. Zhao Wenshui shivered and thought that he would die even faster if he came out. He would only come out if he was a fool. Chapter 1962. Zhao Wenshui thought that Li Chuanying was right. The house was only so big. Where could Zhang Wenshui hide? So they rummaged through the cabinets and finally found Zhao Wenshui under the bed. Zhao Baoshan became even angrier when he saw Zhao Wenshui, a grown man, cowering under the bed. What kind of bastard did he give birth to? He had simply thrown away all of his old face. He had the guts to do dirty things but didn't have the guts to take responsibility. Now he was hiding under the bed. As a man, how could he hide under the bed? Bastard, come out. Zhao Baoshan yelled at Zhao Wenshui under the bed. Father! Zhao Wenshui looked at Zhao Baoshan pitifully. When he saw the wooden stick in Zhao Baoshan's hand, he didn't dare to come out. Father, if you don't hit me, I'll come out. Zhao Wenshui bargained. No matter what, he had to fight for it. Don't hit you? If I don't hit you, you'll be overthrown. Look at what you've done. You still have the nerve to ask me not to hit you? Today I'll teach you a lesson about what you should do and what you shouldn't do. Zhao Baoshan said with a dark face. Zhao Wenshui curled his lips and hid under the bed. Father, if you don't agree and insist on hitting me, then I'll hide under the bed and not come out. Hearing Zhao Wenshui's words, Zhao Benshin's beard almost blew up. However, he couldn't crawl under the bed like Zhao Wenshui and drag Zhao Wenshui out. After all, he was old and his legs were not very convenient. His wives were all women. Even if they crawled under the bed, they wouldn't be able to drag Zhao Wenshui out. However, if he let Zhao Wenshui hide under the bed, he wouldn't be able to deal with him. How could he take it lying down? If you know what's good for you, then hurry up and come out. Don't force me to make a move. When the time comes, you'll suffer together with me. Zhao Baoshan warned. Zhao Wenshui replied pitifully, Father, I'm going to be beaten anyway. If I come out later, I'll be beaten later. I won't come out. Zhao Baoshan saw that Zhao Wenshui's ruffian appearance made people angry and worried, so he said to Li Chuanying, second daughter-in-law, bring the iron fork from home. If he doesn't come out, I'll use the fork to stab him to death. The pitchfork that Zhao Baoshan mentioned was a farming tool. It was usually used to fork rice. The handle was very long and the top was shaped like a bull's horn. However, it was made of iron and was very sharp. If it really pierced into a person's body, it could kill them. Hearing Zhao Baoshan's words, Zhao Wenshui was so scared that he peed his pants under the bed. His father was too ruthless, wasn't he? How could he think of such a move? He wasn't soft-hearted at all. After all, he was his biological son. Father, I'll come out. I'll come out right away. Zhao Wenshui trembled and hurriedly crawled out from under the bed. However, as soon as he came out, he was greeted with Zhao Baoshan's wooden stick. I'll beat you to death, you bastard. Didn't you say you wouldn't come out? Keep hiding. The wooden stick fell on Zhao Wenshui's body. Zhao Wenshui felt a burst of pain and shouted, "Father, it hurts so much. Stop hitting me." Zhao Baoshan hit him while snorting coldly. "Stop hitting? You bastard, you still no pain? Why don't you think about what you've done and whether you deserve to be hit?" Zhao Wenshui hurriedly admitted his mistake. "Father, I was wrong. I was wrong. I won't dare to do it again. Please spare me this time." Chapter 1963. Father, I really won't do it again. I was just confused for a moment. Please forgive me. Zhao Wenshui begged as he dodged. After being hit several times, Zhao Wenshui felt that his body couldn't take it anymore. His body was probably bruised and swollen. Zhao Baoshan was tired, so he stopped to take a breather. "Father, what do you think we should do about this? Second brother did such a thing to me. If others find out, I won't have the face to live." Feng Xianxia cried as she wiped her tears. Zhao Baoshan sighed heavily. He had hit and scolded his son, but his second son's behavior was too much. His eldest daughter-in-law probably still felt uncomfortable. If he didn't deal with it properly, his eldest daughter-in-law would definitely complain. Thus, Zhao Baoshan said, "Eldest daughter-in-law, I'll leave this brat to you. You can do whatever you want." Feng Xianxia thought for a moment. "Father, this matter will affect my reputation after all. I don't want to live in the same courtyard as second brother in the future. Seeing him makes me sad." Zhao Wenshui was a little puzzled. "But we only have one house. We have to live under the same roof." Feng Xianxia said with a cold face, "Then let second brother compensate me. I'll take the money and go outside to build a house. Jing, or will have a lot of betrothal gifts after she gets married. There should be dozens of taels. Give me 15 taels and I'll forget about this matter." 15 taels of silver wasn't a lot, but it definitely wasn't a small amount. With the 15 taels of silver, she could add some more. Then she could build a brick house like Zhao Yun'er's house. Of course, Zhao Yun'er's house was so expensive because there were more than 10 rooms. Their family could build 3 or 4 rooms together. They could save on materials and wages. They could live in a brick house. It was definitely much better than living in old Zhao's shabby courtyard. After hearing Feng Xiangxia's request, Zhao Wenshui naturally didn't agree. Li Chuang was also a little unhappy. At the end of the day, the money was given by his precious daughter's husband's family after she got married. It belonged to him and Zhao Wenshui. Why should he pay for Zhao Wenshui's actions? Moreover, 15 taels of silver was enough for a family to use for a long time. It was enough to buy a few mu of land. "Sister-in-law, aren't you being too greedy? If I give you 15 taels of silver, what am I going to eat in the future?" Zhao Wenshui said directly. Feng Xianxia said unhappily, "Second brother, I don't want money. You can move out of old Zhao's house and compensate me for my mental damage. Or you can build a house for me as long as I don't see you." Zhao Wenshui had a difficult expression on his face. How could he possibly do this? His sister-in-law was simply making things difficult for him on purpose. Where could he go if he moved away from old Zhao's house? "Sister-in-law, if that's not possible, then take out another 15 taels of silver." Feng Xiangxia's attitude was very tough. She didn't want to suffer for nothing. This time, she wanted to take advantage of Zhao Wenshui. Otherwise, she would feel sorry for herself. "Father!" Zhao Wenshui's eyes fell on Zhao Baoshan. He hoped that Zhao Baoshan could say a few words for him. Chapter 1964. Wensher, you have to give an explanation for what you did to your sister-in-law. Otherwise, how are you going to explain it to your big brother? Zhao Baoshan replied after a moment of silence. It would have been fine if Zhao Baoshan had not mentioned Zhao Wensher, but the moment he mentioned Zhao Wensher, Zhao Wenshui could not help but tremble. If his big brother found out, he would definitely kill him. Although his big brother was lying in bed and had not fully recovered from his injuries, he was almost fully recovered and was more than capable of beating him up. Just as Zhao Wenshui was frowning, Zhao Wensher stood behind them and asked in a deep voice, "What did Wensher do?" Zhao Wenshui raised his head nervously and looked at Zhao Wensher. His legs trembled even more. Big brother. Why are you here? You guys made such a big fuss that I was worried something might happen, so I came over. What exactly happened? Tell me quickly. Xianxia choked with sobs when she saw her man coming over. She rushed over to Zhao Wenshi and told him what had happened. Zhao Wenshi's face turned ashen when he heard what she said. This damned second brother of his. Of all the women in the world, he dared to hit on his. He did not care about their brotherly relationship at all. He had almost made him a cuckold. No man could tolerate that. Zhao Wenshi clenched his fists and wanted to rush over and beat Zhao Wenshi up. You bastard! How dare you hit your sister-in-law? You must have some guts. Zhao Wenshi grabbed Zhao Wenshi's collar. Zhao Wenshi's legs trembled and the urine in his pants flowed down his legs again. He had already peed when he was frightened by Zhao Baoshan. Now that Zhao Wenshi had grabbed him, he peed even more. His crotch was soaked, and the smell of urine spread in the air. Zhao Wenshi smiled fawningly. Big brother. I was wrong. Please forgive me. I won't do it again. A man could not bear to see his woman being humiliated by another man. This was a matter of dignity. If word got out, not only would Zhao Wenshi be embarrassed, but he would also be criticized by others. Therefore, he had to vent his anger. Otherwise, Zhao Wenshi would be too easy. Zhao Wenshi said lightly and punched Zhao Wenshi's face. Zhao Wenshi fell to the ground. The fall wasn't light, and he cried out in pain, "Ouch! Big brother. I was wrong. Don't hit me. If you hit me, I'll die. You deserve it even if I beat you to death. We're brothers, but you're good. You want to have ideas about your own sister-in-law. I'm going to cut off your head today." As Zhao Wenshi spoke, he rushed out of the courtyard and took a knife from the kitchen. Zhao Wenshi's face turned pale for a moment. Seeing Zhao Wenshi's agitated appearance, he might really kill him. Zhao Wenshi hurriedly pleaded with Xianxia. Big sister, I beg you. Please persuade big brother." Xianxia was unmoved and ignored Zhao Wenshi. Zhao Wenshi immediately agreed to Xianxia's request. Big sister, I'll compensate you with 15 taels of silver. Is that enough? If you persuade big brother, I'll give you 15 taels of silver. Otherwise, if big brother acts impulsively, I might really lose my life. Zhao Wenshi weighed the pros and cons in his heart. Compared to money and his life was naturally more important. Chapter 1965. When Xianxia heard this, she snorted, "Then I'll persuade your big brother." Zhao Wenshi placed his life in Xianxia's hands. If Xianxia couldn't stop him, then he would be finished today. The more he thought about it, the more Zhao Wenshi's legs trembled. His urine dripped down his pants and onto the floor. The other people in the room were speechless when they saw this. This was the first time they saw such a cowardly person. A grown man was actually scared to the point of peeing his pants. If this news spread, they would probably laugh their heads off. Li Chuiying looked at her man and the disgust in her heart grew stronger. She couldn't find a single good point in Zhao Wenshi. It was fine that he was difficult to do before, but now he didn't dare to admit what he did. He was willing to pay 15 taels of silver for his cheap life. How would she and Zhao Tianyu live in the future? They spent all their money and didn't have any income. Were they going to eat dirt in the future? Li Chuiying glared hatefully at Zhao Wenshi. Tian was making too much of a fuss, so she couldn't say anything even if she wanted to. Zhao Wenshi wanted to chop Zhao Wenshi with the knife in his hand. He waved the knife in his hand and shouted, "You bastard, if I don't chop you to death today, I'll be letting the heavens down." Xianxia hurriedly pulled Zhao Wenshi back. "Tianlong's father, calm down. Otherwise, you'll really hurt second brother. Let's just teach him a lesson. If he gets hurt too badly, it won't be good if someone dies." If someone dies, Zhao Wenshi might even be sued. It wasn't worth it for Zhao Wenshi. Zhao Baoshan also hurriedly came forward to persuade him, "Boss, this matter is indeed wrong. But let's calm down and think of a way to punish him. Don't really use a knife." Zhao Wenshi's face was red as he said, "How can we calm down?" He's worse than a beast and only knows how to do such dirty things. He even dares to lay his hands on his own sister-in-law. I think his thing down there is itching. If you don't want him to die, you have to chop it off. The fear in Zhao Wenshui's eyes deepened when he heard that Zhao Wenshu was going to deal with his family jewels. Big brother, please spare me. If I lose my manhood, will I still be a man in the future? This is worse than taking my life. Zhao Wenshui complained with tears and snot. He almost knelt in front of Zhao Wenshu. Zhao Wenshu scolded with a cold face. You know it too. In my opinion, it's better if you lose your manhood. Let's see how you're going to defile people in the future, you shameless thing. Boss, your brothers. Speak properly and calm down. Second brother did something wrong. I'll definitely make him give you an explanation. But don't destroy his family jewels. After all, he's old Zhao's grandson. Zhao Baoshan persuaded again. Zhao Wenshu was still unwilling to let Zhao Wenshui go. Without Feng Xianxia and Zhao Baoshan's protection, the kitchen knife in his hand would have fallen on Zhao Wenshui's body. Dad, Sky Dragon's mother, don't stop me. Let me teach him a lesson. Sky Dragon's father, put the knife down. It doesn't matter how much money you want. It's too dangerous for you to hold a knife in your hand. Feng Xianxia urged anxiously. Zhao Wenshu had no choice but to throw the kitchen knife in his hand at Zhao Wenshui. If Zhao Wenshui hadn't dodged quickly, his head would have been split in half. Chapter 1966. However, he was so scared that he sat on the ground and couldn't move at all. The other people in the room were also quite frightened, secretly rejoicing that the knife hadn't landed on Zhao Wenshui's body. If a life had really been involved in this matter, it wouldn't have been possible to hide it even if they wanted to. Old Zhao's family would definitely become the laughingstock of the entire village, as well as the several nearby towns. Sky Dragon's father, all right, don't be too impulsive. Although second brother went overboard, you didn't do anything. Now that you've agreed to compensate our family with 15 taels of silver, you just need to give him a few more punches. I believe he'll remember this. Feng Xianxia pulled Zhao Wenshu and kept winking at Zhao Wenshu. Zhao Wenshu calmed down when he heard that Zhao Wenshui was willing to compensate them with 15 taels of silver. After snorting a few times, he went to Zhao Wenshui and kicked Zhao Wenshui a few times. Zhao Wenshui felt pain again. Zhao Wenshu grabbed Zhao Wenshui's collar and asked, "Where's the silver? Quickly take out the silver, or I won't let you off." Zhao Wenshui hurriedly said, "Big brother, let me go. I'll go get it. I'll go get it for you." Zhao Wenshu let go of his hand, but his face was still sullen. Zhao Wenshui was paralyzed on the ground. He wanted to get up, but his legs were so weak that they were trembling. It was difficult for him to even stand up. Seeing that Zhao Wenshui was still dawdling on the ground, Zhao Wenshu kicked him a few more times. "Why are you still dawdling? Hurry up and get out of here. You'll only be happy if I teach you a lesson, right?" Zhao Wenshui said with a bitter face, "Big brother, I want to get up, but my legs are so weak that I can't stand properly. I can't get up at all. I think you need to be taught a lesson. You don't want to pay the 15 taels of silver, do you?" Zhao Wenshui hurriedly waved his hand. No, of course not. If I can stand up, I'll definitely give it to you." Zhao Wenshu urged him with a cold face. "Then hurry up and get up. Don't force me to beat you up." Zhao Wenshui tried to prop himself up and found it difficult to get up. He had no choice but to order Li Chuang, who was at the side. "I say, stinky woman, seeing that I can't get up, you don't know how to give big brother 15 taels of silver?" Li Chuang already had a grudge against Zhao Wenshui. Now that Zhao Wenshui ordered her to work, how could she respond? Zhao Wenshui replied unhappily, "Why should I take it for you? I haven't even settled the score with you yet, but you're already so fierce to me. Zhao Wenshui, I'm not your slave. I'm usually ordered around by you like a dog. Now that you've done something wrong to me, would I still treat you the same as before? I'm not a fool. I won't let you order me around. You want me to do something for you? Let me tell you, no way." In the past, Li Chuang would never dare to treat Zhao Wenshui like this. Basically, Li Chuang would try her best to do the work that Zhao Wenshui ordered her to do. Now, in front of these people, this stinky woman dared to refute him and make him lose face. He was really angry. Zhao Wenshui was trying to make his presence known in front of Li Chuang, but Zhao Wenshui kicked him again. Take it yourself. Why do you expect others to do it for you? If you don't give it to me, I'll chop off your legs. Let's see if you need to get up. Chapter 1967. Then he took out 15 taels of silver from the cabinet and handed it to Zhao Wenshui. Big brother, here you are. You can count it. It's not a single tael less. Zhao Wenshui snatched the silver from Zhao Wenshui's hand and counted it. After confirming that it was 15 taels, he let Zhao Wenshui go. But before he let Zhao Wenshui go, he warned him coldly, if I find out that you have any ideas about your sister-in-law next time, I'll teach you a good lesson. At that time, it won't be just 15 taels of silver. Zhao Wenshui hurriedly raised his hand and swore, Big brother, I won't do it again. I really won't do it again. There won't be a next time. Seeing Zhao Wenshui's wretched appearance, Zhao Wenshui couldn't help but kick him again. Then he took the silver and pulled Feng Xianxia's hand, saying, Let's go, Tianlong's mother. Let's go back to our room. Feng Xianxia agreed. Now that something like this had happened, she had to avoid it. She couldn't stay with Zhao Wenshui anymore. After seeing Zhao Wenshui leave, Zhao Wenshui heaved a sigh of relief, thinking that this matter was over. After all, if Zhao Wenshui didn't cause trouble for him, no one else could do anything to him. However, Li Chuang suddenly knelt down in front of Zhao Baoshan. Zhao Baoshan hurriedly asked, Second daughter-in-law, what are you doing? Li Chuang choked with sobs. Father, you've made a decision for sister-in-law. Now you have to make a decision for me, right? How can this heartless thing do such a dirty thing to me? How can he be worthy of me? Zhao Baoshan frowned. He knew that Li Chuang was telling the truth. Zhao Wenshui did such a thing. Besides letting down Feng Xianxia, he let down Li Chuang the most. Loyalty was important between husband and wife, but Zhao Wenshui betrayed his wife time and time again. Li Chuang must be very sad and disappointed that her man betrayed her. Zhao Baoshan was afraid that the second branch of the family would not be able to continue living like this. It had taken a lot of effort to bring Li Chuang back from her parents' home. She thought that her second brother would stop after this, but who would have thought that he still didn't know how to cherish her? If she forced Li Chuang back to her parents' home again, it would be impossible to bring Li Chuang back. How was the second branch going to survive without a woman? During the time when Li Chuang was not around, the second son shamelessly followed the old couple to live together. They were already so old, yet they still had to take care of their son. Zhao Baoshan did not want to do it a second time. In addition, if this matter was not handled well, Li Chuang would expose Zhao Wenshui's molestation of his eldest sister-in-law. Which woman would be willing to marry Zhao Wenshui in the future? They couldn't let Zhao Wenshui become a burden to old Zhao's family, right? It was necessary to appease Li Chuang. After thinking about it, Zhao Baoshan said to Li Chuang, Second brother's wife, don't worry. I will definitely give you justice. Tell me how you want to deal with this matter. As long as you vent your anger, you can deal with that brat in any way. Li Chuang wiped away her tears and said, Father, I don't want to do anything to him. Since you are upholding justice for me today, if you still care about the friendship between us, help me make a decision. I want to divorce Zhao Wenshui. It was not easy for a woman from the countryside to make this decision. After all, a woman who divorced would be despised by others. When she returned to her parents' home, she would be criticized even more. Chapter 1968. Li Chuang made this decision because she was too disappointed in Zhao Wenshui. She didn't want to force herself to be with Zhao Wenshui and make herself suffer. Otherwise, she wouldn't be able to see the end of the next few decades. Now that her daughter was married and her son was still young, she knew that if she really left, old Zhao's family wouldn't mistreat their grandson. She wanted to live for herself for the rest of her life and let herself be happy. She didn't want to be like this, serving a man every day like he was her ancestor. This man was still heartless. No matter how well she treated him, he didn't care. He was an ungrateful wretch. After hearing Li Chuang's words, Qian Zhonghu and Zhao Baoshan were stunned. They didn't expect Li Chuang to make such a decision. Qian Zhonghu didn't try to persuade or oppose. She understood how Li Chuang felt. If she met a man like Zhao Wenxue, she might make the same decision. Although it was advising them to reconcile and not divorce, it depended on the situation. She felt sorry for her second sister-in-law. She wanted Li Chuang to live the rest of her life without being wronged like today. It would be best if they divorced. Zhao Baoshan knew the stakes and hurriedly tried to persuade her. Second brother's wife, second brother really let you down this time. I can help you beat him until he's satisfied. I'll discipline him well in the future. Can you forgive him this time? Don't divorce. We're still a family. However, Li Chuang insisted, Father, you know that I've given him many chances. I really don't want to give him any more this time. Regardless of whether you agree or not, I want to separate from Zhao Wenxue. If you don't uphold justice for me, then I'll go talk to Li Zheng. If Li Chuang really went to look for him after such a thing happened, Li Zheng would definitely agree to her divorce. However, if he talked to Li Zheng, wouldn't the whole village know about Zhao Wenshue's scandal? How would old Zhao's family face others in the future? Before Zhao Baoshan could continue to persuade him, Zhao Wenxue became angry. He scolded Li Chuang, You want to divorce me? What's the benefit of staying away from there? With your looks, do you think you can marry another man? Li Chuang smiled bitterly and retorted Zhao Wenxue, Why should I remarry after my divorce? As long as I'm not with you, it's fine. Even if I die alone, it has nothing to do with you. Zhao Wenxue was instantly enraged. He waved his fist and punched Li Chuang. You bitch, if you dare to divorce me, I'll kill you. Seeing Zhao Wenxue like this, Li Chuang's heart turned even colder. Normally, he knew how to be fierce to her, but in front of others, he was a coward, not even daring to let out a fart. Just like just now, he was so scared that he peed his pants. Qian Zholi also felt that Zhao Wenxue was too much. As a man, he did not behave like a man at all. What was the point of bullying the weak? Qian Zholi quickly pulled Zhao Wenxue back and shouted, Second brother, what are you doing? Aren't you going overboard? You're the one who let second sister-in-law down. Even if she wants a divorce, it's only right. What right do you have to hit her? What right do you have to hit her? Zhao Baoshan's face also darkened. He kicked Zhao Wenshue's body and cursed, Shameless thing, if you dare to make a move, do you believe that I won't chop off your hands? Chapter 1969. Zhao Wenxue glanced at Li Chuang with some bitterness and replied pitifully, Dad, I'm only acting like this because I can't stand seeing that this B***tiste wants to divorce me. Listen to her. Listen to what she's saying. Our Zhao family has given her a lot of food for so many years. Now she wants to divorce? Although Zhao Wenxue didn't like Li Chuang that much, he didn't want to divorce Li Chuang. This was because Zhao Wenxue knew that if he divorced Li Chuang, there would be no one to take care of him. In the future, he wouldn't be able to sit at home with his legs crossed and eat and drink like he was now. In order to have someone to take care of him in the future, he absolutely couldn't agree. Zhao Baoshan rolled his eyes at Zhao Wenxue and almost cried at Zhao Wenshue's stupidity. At this time, he didn't know how to say nice things and coax Li Chuang to stay, but he knew how to be fierce. Who was he being fierce to? Didn't he know that the more he treated Li Chuang like this, the more determined Li Chuang would be to leave? Now, even if he wanted to get involved and persuade Li Chuang would probably ignore him. Zhao Baoshan sighed in his heart. He didn't know what would happen next. You bastard, shut up. If you say one more word, I'll really hit you. Only then did Zhao Wenxue shut his mouth. He glanced at Zhao Baoshan and then at Li Chuang. He wanted to say something, but he could only swallow it back into his stomach. He couldn't say it out loud. Zhao Baoshan looked at Li Chuang and tried to persuade her gently, Second daughter-in-law, I know you've been wronged. Can you reconsider? Divorce is not good for the child. I hope we can still be a family. Li Chuang replied resolutely, Father, don't say anything. It's useless no matter what you say. Zhao Wenxue and I can't live together anymore, so I want a divorce. If you really care about me, please allow it. I'll definitely be grateful to you in the future. I won't forget where I can be filial to my parents. Even if I'm not old Zhao's daughter-in-law, I'll still treat you as my in-laws. Zhao Baoshan saw the determination on Li Chunying's face. There was no turning back now. He wanted to make up for it, but Li Chunying's heart had been hurt so much that it was useless even if he wanted to. Qian Zhurong looked at her second sister-in-law with heartache. Perhaps a divorce was the best choice for Li Chunying. She hoped that her second sister-in-law would not have to suffer so much. She also hoped that her second sister-in-law would find another man in the future and not someone like Zhao Wenshui. Father, just agree to it. We're a family. Don't hurt our feelings. Zhao Baoshan's expression became serious. He knew that it was useless to disagree. If his second daughter-in-law went to Li Zheng, she could still divorce him. Therefore, the scandal in the family would spread. It was better to agree now. At least it would save some face for old Zhao and prevent them from being laughed at by the villagers. Since that's the case, we're not fated to be a family. Second daughter-in-law, I won't force you. I'll make the decision now. You and second brother will divorce. Go to Li Zheng's place and ask him to write a divorce agreement. You and second brother just need to put your fingerprints on it. In the future, when you're not in old Zhao's house, take care of yourself. Zhao Baoshan said with a pained expression. Chapter 1970. Zhao Baoshan said gently, all right. Get up. My legs hurt from kneeling on the ground. Second sister-in-law, get up. Qian Zhozhou walked over to Li Chunying and helped Li Chunying up from the ground. Li Chunying got up from the ground, and she suddenly felt a sense of relief that she had never felt before. Perhaps from this moment on, she would be free and would never have to face a man like Zhao Wenshui again. In the future, all she had to do was take good care of herself. There was no need to be sullen or angry. Zhao Wenshui anxiously questioned Zhao Baoshan. Father, why did you agree to the divorce? Have you become muddle-headed? What will happen to me if we divorce? Who will cook and wash my clothes in the future? I'm a grown man, and I can't do such chores. Zhao Baoshan was angered by Zhao Wenshui and scolded Zhao Wenshui. You bastard! How dare you say that I'm old and muddle-headed? Weren't you the one who caused this situation today? If it weren't for these bastards, would your wife have proposed to divorce you? Zhao Wenshui felt wronged and said, but father, you can't just agree like that. If you agree to the divorce between you and her, are you saying that you and mother will take care of me in the future? Zhao Baoshan snorted coldly and scolded, you bastard, what nonsense are you spouting? You're already an adult, and you still have the nerve to ask your mother and me to take care of you? Do you think that you can't divorce just because I don't agree? If the village chief decides, aren't you afraid that you'll embarrass yourself and be too ashamed to stay in the village? Upon hearing Zhao Baoshan's words, Zhao Wenshui's face suddenly fell, and his heart was filled with anxiety. Father, do I really want a divorce? Zhao Baoshan glared at Zhao Wenshui and said, why are you asking me whether we're going to divorce or not? Don't you know to ask your wife? If you had a little bit of conscience and said a few soft words, would this have happened? At the thought of the divorce, Zhao Wenshui immediately flinched and was very worried. He had already lived a life without Li Chunying, and he didn't want to go through that again. She felt remorseful and quickly apologized to Li Chunying. Tianyu's mother, it's all my fault. Can you forgive me this once? I promise I won't do it again, and I'll definitely treat you well. Let's not divorce, okay? Li Chunying didn't say anything. He didn't even look at Zhao Wenshui. Instead, he turned to Zhao Baoshan and said, Dad, let's go to Li Zheng's place now. Zhao Wenshui quickly grabbed Li Chunying's sleeve. Tianyu's mother, don't go. Tianyu's mother, I beg you. Li Chunying pulled his sleeves and said coldly, let go of me. Tianyu's mother, Zhao Wenshui, I told you to let go of me. Did you hear me? Li Chunying's face was gloomy. Second brother, if you knew this would happen, you wouldn't have done it in the first place. What's the use of trying to persuade her to stay now? Second sister-in-law has already given up on you. Since you're not fated to be together anymore, Let's just leave each other alone and leave each other some dignity. Even if you keep forcing second sister-in-law to stay today, she'll make a fuss about the divorce in a few days. Why don't you just end it now? Zhao Wenxue couldn't bear to do that. If he didn't persuade her to stay now, it would be too late when Li Chunying returned to her parents' home. Zhao Baoshan also said, Baoshan, don't stop them. Let's go to Li Zheng's house and sign the divorce papers. Dad. Chapter 1971. Unable to defy Zhao Baoshan's authority, Zhao Wenxue had no choice but to follow Zhao Baoshan out of the house. No matter how unwilling he was, no one would help him at this time. Everyone was even on Li Chunying's side. Could it be that she was really going to divorce him today? Zhao Baoshan's face was full of worry. For a moment he didn't know what to do. When they walked out of the house, Hua Chunhua heard the commotion and came out to take a look. She had been waiting on Zhao Xinhui in the house and didn't have time to come out. She took the time to take a look. As soon as she came out, she saw them walking out of the courtyard. She hurriedly chased after them and asked, What's the matter with you? Where are you going? They all looked sullen and didn't speak. Hua Chunhua suddenly became anxious. What's the matter? What's the matter? Why aren't you saying anything? What are you all doing? Zhao Baoshan said, We're going to Li Zheng's house. Why are we going to Li Zheng's house? Divorce. Second brother and his second daughter-in-law are divorcing. Zhao Baoshan replied calmly. Hua Chunhua instantly exploded. What? Divorce? Old man, you're not confused, are you? Why are you letting second brother and his second daughter-in-law divorce? Why are you making such a fuss? Zhao Baoshan snorted coldly. How am I supposed to answer you with so many questions at once? When we come back, you can ask your precious son what he has done. Zhao Baoshan said and beckoned Zhao Wenxue and Li Chunying to continue on their way to Li Zheng's house. Hua Chunhua raised her voice and made a fuss. Old man, don't be silly. What are you going to do? What's the point of divorcing second brother and his wife? With second brother's character, do you think he can find another wife after divorcing? Zhao Baoshan reprimanded in a deep voice. If you don't think it's embarrassing and aren't afraid of our old Zhao family being laughed at, you can continue shouting. Hua Chunhua was intimidated by Zhao Baoshan's expression, so she shut up resentfully. Why aren't you saying anything? It's so confusing. Hua Chunhua couldn't help complaining. Even though she couldn't ask, Hua Chunhua couldn't suppress her curiosity. She followed Zhao Baoshan and headed to Li Zheng's house. After arriving at Li Zheng's house, Zhao Baoshan explained everything. Originally, Li Zheng wanted to persuade them to reconcile, but he saw that the Zhao family's attitude was strange. Even his father-in-law and sister-in-law supported the divorce. Moreover, Li Chunying was also determined to get a divorce. He guessed that there was something that was hard to say. Since it was their family matter, it wasn't appropriate for him to ask too much. Thus, he wrote the divorce papers and had them put their fingerprints on them. One copy was given to each of them, and the other copy was given to him for safekeeping. After receiving Li Zheng's divorce papers, Li Chunying heaved a heavy sigh of relief. This time he was truly free. With the divorce papers in hand, he would have nothing to do with Zhao Wenxue from now on. From now on, she might be able to live a new life. On the way back, Hua Chunhua was extremely anxious and kept muttering to herself. Zhao Baoshan was so annoyed that he finally explained everything to Hua Chunhua. Hua Chunhua didn't expect that Zhao Wenxue would actually do such a thing. She originally wanted to blame Li Chunying, but now that she knew the reason, she didn't have the nerve to blame Li Chunying. As long as one wasn't an idiot, they would be able to tell who was at fault. Chapter 1972. Hua Chunhua's black claws scratched Zhao Wenshui's body. You bastard, who told you to do these things? Let's see what you'll do after you divorce. Your father and I won't care about you. You brat, it's good enough that we raised you. Don't blame your father and me. Zhao Wenshui felt a burst of pain and saw that there was a red mark on his arm. He frowned and replied, Mother, it hurts so much. Why are you so ruthless to me? Be gentle, be gentle. My flesh will be torn off by you. Hua Chunhua muttered, You brat, You deserve to die. You don't even care about your face. Why do you still want your flesh? Mother, okay, I won't care about you anyway. Whether you live or die has nothing to do with me. I have to say it up front. If you don't have food, don't come to me. I won't cook for you like before. Hua Chunhua made up her mind to not care about Zhao Wenshui anymore. Last time, after Li Chuang left, she almost couldn't support herself by taking care of the food for several people. After all, she was old and her legs were weak. How could she do so much? Mother, if you don't cook for me, what will I eat? What will Tianyu eat? Do you have the heart to watch us father and son starve to death? Zhao Wenshui began to play the sympathy card. If he didn't hug Hua Chunhua's thigh now, he would really be finished. Hua Chunhua said coldly, so what? It has nothing to do with me. Anyway, I won't care about your life or death. After that, Hua Chunhua was very angry. She ignored Zhao Wenshui and went back to the yard angrily. After Li Chunying returned to her hometown, she went to the second branch's yard and began to pack her luggage. She didn't have many things, only some shabby clothes, which were not worth much at all. Zhao Jinger still had a lot of betrothal gifts left, which added up to 25 taels. Li Chuang didn't care about the other good things. In order to get a divorce, Li Chuang had made some concessions on the distribution of the Li family's assets. As long as she could divorce Zhao Wenshui, so what if she lost a few things? She only asked for 10 taels of silver and gave the rest to Zhao Wenshui. After packing up, Li Chuang prepared to leave. Second sister-in-law. Qian Zhirong walked into the house and held Li Chunying's hand reluctantly. Since Li Chuang's temperament had improved, the relationship between the two sisters-in-law had gradually deepened. Li Chuang's sudden departure naturally made Qian Zhuzhe reluctant. After Li Chuang left, he had one less person to talk to in old Zhao's house. Fourth sister-in-law. Li Chunying also reluctantly held Qian Zhuzhe's hand and said, Fourth sister-in-law, I have no choice but to leave. You should know me. Yes. Qian Zhuzhe nodded heavily. I understand you. Second sister-in-law, since you're leaving, take care of yourself in the future. I hope you can take good care of yourself. Fourth sister-in-law, you too. Take good care of yourself. If there's a chance, I'll come and see you. Okay. Qian Zhuzhe's eyes suddenly turned red. She sniffled and hurriedly wiped the tears from the corners of her eyes with her sleeve. I hope second sister-in-law can find a good man in the future, one who will cherish you. Live happily for the rest of your life. Qian Zhuzhe said sincerely. Now that they were divorced, Li Chuang's new life would begin. Everything was not impossible. Chapter 1973. Qian Zhui sighed. Second sister-in-law, don't talk nonsense. How can you live without a man at home these days? Once you return to your parents' home, you can look for a good man. There are many good men these days. I believe you can find one. Li Chunying did not refute Qian Zhui's words. Anyway, she did not have any thoughts about men now. Instead of serving others like she served Zhao Wenshui, she would rather live alone. It would be more comfortable. In any case, she had 10 taels of silver now. As long as she worked hard, had hands and feet, and was diligent, she would be able to survive. Fourth sister-in-law, sigh, let's not talk so much. I'm going to say goodbye to third sister-in-law. I'll leave in a while. She did not want to stay at old Zhao's house for a moment longer. She was close to the third branch and thought that Sanfeng had helped her a lot. After leaving old Zhao's house, she did not know when she would come back, so she had to say goodbye before leaving. Qian Zhui nodded. Second sister-in-law, I'll go with you. But as the two sisters-in-law spoke, they left old Zhao's courtyard. Zhao Tianyu suddenly returned. Zhao Tianyu was not at home when the commotion happened. The child was more playful and had run out to play until now. When he saw Li Chuang, he shouted at Li Chuang, Mother, I'm hungry. I want to eat. Is the food ready? Li Chuang's expression did not look good. Men were bad. Her son was becoming more and more like Zhao Wenshui after being spoiled by her. He had never cared for her and was the same as Zhao Wenshui. He only knew how to ask for things from her and served her like a little ancestor. Did she owe this father and son something in her previous life? There's no food. If you're hungry, go to your father. Li Chuang replied indifferently. Zhao Tianyu's brows knitted together, his face full of reluctance. Qian Zhui explained, Tianyu, your mother is leaving. If you want food, you can only ask your father. Where can I go? To your maternal grandmother's house. When will you be back? I'm not coming back. Zhao Tianyu stared at Li Chuang, but he didn't say anything. Instead, he turned around and went to find Zhao Wenshui. Father, my mother said that if I want to eat in the future, I can ask you for it. I'm hungry now. Where's the food? Where is the food? Zhao Wenshui looked at his precious son with a bitter face as he faced Zhao Tianyu. He didn't even have anything to eat, so how was he going to get food for Zhao Tianyu? Tianyu, your father and mother are angry. Go and persuade your mother not to leave. Father doesn't know how to cook, so how can I make food for you in the future? Zhao Wenshui coaxed Zhao Tianyu. After all, Zhao Tianyu was Li Chuang's son. For the sake of his son, Li Chuang might be soft-hearted and stay. That way, he wouldn't lose his wife. However, Zhao Tianyu was unhappy. Father, why should I persuade her? If she wants to leave, so be it. What's the point of keeping her? After hearing Zhao Tianyu's words, Li Chuang's hurt heart became even colder. Zhao Wenshui slapped Zhao Tianyu's head. You brat, what nonsense are you talking about? She's your mother. What good will it do you if she leaves? Zhao Tianyu cried in pain. Sob, sob, sob. Father, you're a bad person. Chapter 1974. Zhao Tianyu cried and complained. She left in the first place. Why do you have to stop her? Zhao Wenshui was very angry. Your mother will never come back after she leaves. I'll see who will cook for you and who will serve you. Zhao Tianyu replied unhappily, Dad, didn't Mom do the same last time? She left and stayed at Grandma's house for a few days before she came back obediently. This time, it will be the same. She will come back anyway. Why do you still need me to persuade her? After all, he was a child and didn't understand the meaning of divorce. He thought that it was just a quarrel as usual. Zhao Wenshui couldn't explain it. Li Chuang ignored the father and son. They could do whatever they wanted in the future. Anyway, it had nothing to do with her. After a while, Qian Zhonghu and Li Chuang arrived at Zhao Yun'er's house. Zhao Yun'er's family was shocked when they heard the news of Li Chuang's divorce. So many things had happened when Li Chuang had just returned from her house. Now, she had even signed the divorce papers and said goodbye to them. Zhao Yun'er's family had the same opinion about Li Chuang's divorce. They stood on Li Chuang's side. After all, Zhao Wenshui had gone too far. Most people wouldn't be able to accept it. Li Chuang had suffered a lot during this period. Since she had to live in pain, it was better to divorce early and start a new life. As for Zhao Yun'er, she had been hoping that Li Chuang would come to her senses and leave Zhao Wenshui's side for a long time. Now it had come true. Second sister-in-law, although second brother is our biological brother, we know his character and we support you. Take good care of yourself after you leave. We will have fewer chances to see each other in the future. If you have time, I hope you can come back to see us and the child. Liang Jinxiao held Li Chuang's hand and said. Li Chuang replied with a choked voice, Okay. Third sister-in-law, fourth sister-in-law, thank you. It's so good to have sisters-in-law like you. Even if she divorced, these people didn't defend Zhao Wenshui. Instead, they stood on her side. She would remember this friendship in her heart. After a few words, Li Chuang got up and said goodbye. There was no point in delaying it. There was still some distance to go back to her Nyang'er's home. The sooner she went back, the sooner she could complain to her family. The third branch didn't try to persuade her to stay. They knew Li Chuang's mood at the moment. Going back to her parents' home was her only support now. Looking at Li Chuang's departing figure, the people of the third branch sighed in their hearts. Zhao Yun'er sincerely wished Li Chuang a happy life. For Li Chuang, a divorce was definitely a new lease of life. But Zhao Wenshui, Zhao Yun'er was very curious. What would this disgusting man do in the future? Zhao Baoshan and Hua Chunhua would definitely have a headache because of the second branch. In the afternoon, when the sun was still up, it was very strong. Li Chuang was panting after walking for a while. She couldn't walk anymore. She saw a big tree on the side and leaned against it to rest. She wanted to rest and recover before continuing. The leaves blocked most of the sunlight, so it was still cool under the tree's shade. Unfortunately, she left in a hurry and didn't bring any water with her. She was so thirsty that her throat felt like it was smoking. She wanted to drink more water to quench her thirst. But this place was in the middle of nowhere. How could there be water to drink? Li Chuang felt a little hopeless when she thought about how long she still had to walk. I'm so thirsty. Chapter 1975. Just when he was in despair, he suddenly saw a man coming from afar. The man was pulling a handcart with some goods on it. Because the sun was very hot and he was pulling so many things, the man's head was so hot that many beads of sweat flowed out. Li Chuang found that he actually knew this man. He was Zhao Ping, a bachelor from Shuilan village. Zhao Ping pulled the handcart to the shade of the tree where Li Chuang rested. He also rested for a while. After such a long walk, although he was a man, he still couldn't stand it. After resting and chatting for a while, they continued their journey. Li Chuang was too embarrassed to greet Zhao Ping. When Zhao Ping saw Li Chuang resting in the shade of the tree, he smiled and greeted Li Chuang. Sister-in-law, I didn't expect to see you here. Seeing the honest smile on Zhao Ping's face, Li Chuang smiled embarrassedly. Yes, what a coincidence. I didn't expect to meet you, brother Zhao. Sister-in-law, where are you going? Back to my mother's home. Li Chuang replied. Zhao Ping responded and then asked curiously, Is your mother's home in the Li village? Yes, it's in the Li village. Why do you ask? Zhao Ping smiled innocently again. I'm going to help someone deliver something to the Li village. If you don't mind, can we go together? Zhao Ping was a bachelor. His family didn't have any fields, so he usually did some rough work nearby. Today, he was helping a family in the village deliver something to the Li village. He could earn 20 copper coins for this trip. It wasn't much, but it didn't take long. He just needed to help. Anyway, he had nothing to do at home. After saying that, Zhao Ping realized that he said something wrong. He said embarrassedly, Sister-in-law, I'm sorry to offend you. If you're afraid of being seen and gossiped, you don't have to accompany me. I just think it's a long journey. We can talk on the way and kill time. Seeing Zhao Ping's kindness, Li Chuang said, Then let's go together. If others see us, they can talk about us. I'm divorced anyway. I don't care about my reputation. Upon hearing Li Chuang's words, Zhao Ping's eyes were filled with shock. Sister-in-law, are you joking? You divorced brother Wen Shui? Yes. Li Chuang replied, I just got divorced today, so I'm rushing back to my parents' home. Zhao Ping didn't know what to say for a while. After all, he was just an outsider. He couldn't get involved in the couple's business, let alone ask them why they divorced. Since he had made such a big decision, he definitely had his own reasons. Sister-in-law, then you should live your life well in the future. Actually, it's okay to live alone. I've been living alone for so many years. Zhao Ping was silent for a few seconds before he said. Li Chuang pursed his lips and chuckled. That's right. There's no one in this world who can't live without someone. I also hope that I can live a good life in the future. The two of them exchanged a few words before Zhao Ping took out a water bag from the handcart. The things they carried along the way were heavy and it was very hot. Zhao Ping knew that they would be thirsty, so he brought more water. Li Chuansui was a little excited when she saw this. She wanted to ask Zhao Ping for water, but she was embarrassed. Chapter 1976. After he finished drinking, he saw Li Chuang looking at him. To be exact, she was staring at the water bag in his hand. Li Chuang didn't seem to have brought any water. After walking for so long, she was probably as thirsty as he was. Unfortunately, he had been drinking from the water bag. Zhao Ping didn't know if Li Chuang would mind. After thinking for a moment, Zhao Ping took the water bag in his hand and handed it to Li Chuang. He asked Li Chuang, Sister-in-law, do you want some water too? Li Chuang was embarrassed to accept it, but she was really thirsty. If she didn't drink any water now, she was afraid that her lips would crack. Li Chuang put down her pride and reached out to take the water bag. "Brother Zhao, thank you. I'm dying of thirst. Luckily, I have your water," Li Chuang said gratefully. Then, she took the water bag and gulped it down like Zhao Ping. Zhao Ping stared at Li Chuang as she drank. He saw that Li Chuang was drinking from the water bag like him. Didn't this mean that the two of them were indirectly kissing? Zhao Ping's ears turned red for a moment. He didn't dare to look at Li Chuang again. He hadn't married for so many years, so he was very shy in front of this woman. After resting for a while, the two of them got up and prepared to set off. They chatted along the way. They felt that it was much better than traveling alone. With a companion, they didn't feel so tired. However, as Li Chuang walked, she accidentally tripped over a stone in front of her and fell to the ground. At the same time, his ankle was heavily twisted, and an intense pain spread throughout his body. Cold sweat broke out on Li Chuang's forehead as she muttered. Zhao Ping hurriedly put down the handcart in his hand. He squatted down and asked Li Chuang, "Sister-in-law, how are you? Are you okay?" "I think I sprained my ankle," Li Chuang replied with some difficulty. He was in so much pain that even speaking was difficult. Zhao Ping frowned and said to Li Chuang, "Sister-in-law, you've sprained your ankle. Do you want me to massage it for you? Would that be better?" Li Chuang hurriedly waved his hand and refused. In ancient times, how could a woman's body be casually seen by a man, let alone be casually touched by a man? Especially his feet. Zhao Ping asked because he was too worried about Li Chuang's condition. He didn't think too much about it. "It's all right, big brother Zhao." Zhao Ping could only feel anxious, but there was nothing he could do to help. It was obvious that Li Chuang was in great pain. Now, he definitely couldn't leave. "Sister-in-law, can you stand up?" Zhao Ping asked with concern. Li Chuang tried and found that the slightest movement would cause her to gasp in pain. I don't think so. I don't think I can leave. Big brother Zhao, why don't you leave first? When you reach Li village, you can send a message to my family and ask them to come and pick me up." Zhao Ping didn't agree. He thought that it would be dangerous for Li Chuang to sit alone on the road. Moreover, it was so hot now. How could he be at ease leaving Li Chuang alone? Zhao Ping thought for a moment and said to Li Chuang, "Sister-in-law, why don't you sit in my handcart? I'll take you to Li village and then send you back. That way, you don't have to wait. Otherwise, I don't know when your family will come and pick you up." Chapter 1977. She and Zhao Wenshui were not relatives. Moreover, she was divorced from Zhao Wenshui and had nothing to do with old Zhao's family. How could she trouble Zhao Ping? Li Chuang replied, "Brother Zhao, I appreciate your kindness, but it's not easy for you to pull the goods. Don't add me to your burden." Zhao Ping waved his hand and said, "Sister-in-law, don't be so polite with me. You're not that heavy. I won't be tired if I pull you on the handcart." "Brother Zhao, it's really not necessary." "Sigh, sister-in-law, I don't feel safe leaving you alone in this remote place. Please don't refuse. I'll just rest for a while if I'm tired. It's better than waiting for someone to come." "But, sister-in-law, let me help you onto the handcart." Li Chuang could not resist Zhao Ping's enthusiasm and nodded in agreement. She sat on the handcart. There was a bag of goods under it. It seemed to be a bag of cotton, so it was soft and did not jolt much. Zhao Ping pulled the handcart in front and walked towards Li village. Perhaps it was because it was too hot, Zhao Ping sweated a lot and his back was soaked. Seeing how hot it was, Zhao Ping rolled up his sleeves and exposed his strong muscles to the air. Li Chuang sat behind the handcart and could not help but stare. He glanced at Zhao Ping's arms. Men who worked often were strong and muscular, much better than Zhao Wenshui. Zhao Wenshui didn't work on a daily basis, and his body had already grown fat. His body was full of fat, and he didn't have Zhao Ping's strength. Li Chuang stared at Zhao Ping's muscles for a long time. When he came back to his senses, Zhao Ping had stopped. Looking into Zhao Ping's deep eyes, Li Chuang felt a little embarrassed. "Brother Zhao, are you tired?" Li Chuang asked. I'm fine. Let's take a break first. It's very hot. Li Chuang quickly took out the handkerchief in his hand and handed it to Zhao Ping. He said to Zhao Ping, "Brother Zhao, take this handkerchief and wipe your sweat." Zhao Ping hurriedly waved his hand and refused. "Sister, no need, no need. How can I dirty your handkerchief? I'll just wipe it with my clothes." Zhao Ping said as he wiped his face with his sleeve. The sweat was wiped away, but the sleeve was soaked with sweat. Seeing this, Li Chuang felt even more embarrassed to let Zhao Ping drag him back to the village. Zhao Ping was so tired that he sweated so much. "Sister-in-law, you've rested enough. Let's continue our journey. We have to get to Li's village as soon as possible so that your family can rub your feet for you. If your foot is injured, you have to pay attention to it. Otherwise, it won't be good if you get a chronic disease." Li Chuang was touched when he heard the concern in Zhao Ping's words. A strange man could treat her like this, but the man at home who had shared a bed with her for more than 10 years had a very bad attitude towards her and had done so many things to her. It was true that good men could not find wives, but those scumbags could find women. It was really unfair. If Zhao Wenshui could be half as good as Zhao Ping, perhaps she would not have thought of divorce. The two of them continued their journey and finally arrived at Li's village. Li Chuang was also sent back to her parents' home. Li Chuang thanked Zhao Ping and did not ask him to stay. He knew that Zhao Ping had to hurry back and would not take long. Chapter 1978. I think Zhao Wenshui is bullying us because we don't have enough people in the Li family, right? He didn't even remember what we said last time, and now he's doing this again. We have to find him and have a good talk with him. Let's see if he dares to do this again in the future, said Li Chuang's eldest brother. Li Chuang's second brother also agreed. That's right. Our Li family is considered a respectable family in the village. We can't be bullied so casually. What he did not only bullied our sister, but also looked down on our Li family. Our warning didn't work, so he should have a taste of his fist. The two brothers were furious and said that they would seek justice for Li Chuang. Seeing that her two brothers were defending her, Li Chuang was very touched. She also wanted to teach Zhao Wenshui a lesson, but she also knew that it was meaningless to argue about it now. She had already divorced Zhao Wenshui and returned to her family because she didn't want to have anything to do with Zhao Wenshui. She also didn't want to go back to the Zhao family and see Zhao Wenshui again. Therefore, she persuaded her two brothers. "Big brother, second brother, don't be angry. It's not worth arguing with this kind of person. Anyway, I've already divorced him. From now on, we won't have anything to do with each other. Let bygones be bygones. Don't make yourself feel uncomfortable." Li Chuang's brothers respected Li Chuang's opinion. "Sister, we'll listen to you. If you want to teach Zhao Wenshui a lesson, we'll help you teach him a lesson. If you're unhappy, you have to vent your anger. If you don't want to see him again or have anything to do with him, then we won't go. Now that we're divorced, it's fine. Our Li family isn't that poor. We can support one more person." With her two brothers' words, Li Chuang was satisfied. Now that she had been wronged by Zhao Wenshui, fortunately, her family supported her after she came back. If her family didn't accept her at this time, she really didn't know what to do. "Big brother, second brother, thank you. I came back with you and brought shame to the Li family. I didn't expect you to not despise me and be willing to accept me and not chase me out." Hearing Li Chuang's words, the two brothers both glanced at Li Chuang. "Little sister, what are you talking about? It's not your fault. It's Zhao Wenshui's fault. When have you ever embarrassed the Li family?" "That's right, little sister, don't think too much. You shouldn't live with that kind of person. He's really too much. He doesn't put you in his eyes, and he also doesn't put our Li family in his eyes. He's simply going too far. If we don't let you come back, where else can you go? Could it be that they were going back to old Zhao's house? If we really go back, won't that Zhao Wenshui go even more overboard?" When Li Chuang heard this, he felt a warm current flowing into his heart. Your maternal family is still the best. Your maternal family is always so protective of you. No matter what you do, they will stand on your side and think for you. At this moment, Li Chuang finally felt the warmth of home. If she wanted to stay at home for the rest of her life, it would definitely be much better than staying at old Zhao's house. Seeing that Li Chuang's foot was injured, old Madame Li hurriedly took out some sesame oil and helped Li Chuang massage it. Chapter 1979. Old Madame Li's thinking was still more conservative. She felt that Li Chuang couldn't stay in her maternal home forever. It wasn't that she disliked Li Chuang, but she knew that if a woman didn't have a man, it would be inconvenient for her in the future. In addition, she didn't mind, and neither did her two sons. However, if her sister-in-law lived in her maternal home, her daughter-in-law would definitely object. After a long time, she was afraid that some conflicts would arise. As old Madame Li helped Li Chuang push her feet, she said earnestly, "A woman can't do it alone. When you're old, you have to find a man to support each other. Two people are better than one. You don't understand now, but you'll understand in the future. There aren't all bad men in this world. There are good men too. I'll ask someone later to see if there are any suitable men. If there are, I'll help you arrange a marriage. When the time comes, you can marry him." Li Chuang had already given up on marriage. How could she think about men now? "Mother, at my age, with my conditions, what kind of man can I find? I'm afraid that I'll find someone worse. It's better not to torment myself." Old Madame Li said with a straight face, "You're wrong. At your age, with your conditions, why can't you find another man? Nowadays, there are many bachelors who have lost their wives. Can't we just find a good one among them?" Speaking of bachelors, Li Chuang's mind suddenly flashed with Zhao Ping's face. Zhao Ping was honest, hardworking, and very considerate. Although his family was a little poor, he could be considered a good man. If she could marry such a man for the rest of her life, Li Chuang would be willing. However, she didn't dare to think about it now. After all, Zhao Wenshui and Zhao Ping were distant relatives. If she really married Zhao Ping, she didn't know what others would say. "Mother, let's talk about this later. There's no rush now." The two Li brothers also echoed, "That's right, Mother. There's no rush. Even if we find a man for little sister, it'll take some time. In any case, she'll stay at home for a while, right? This kind of thing can't be done too hastily, lest you find another man like Zhao Wenshui. The rest of your little sister's life will be really bitter." Old Madame Li compromised, "All right then, let's talk about it later." On the other hand, old Zhao's family had a lot of trouble after Li Chuang left. Without Li Chuang, Zhao Wenshui and Zhao Tianyu had no one to take care of them. Zhao Tianyu had nothing to eat, so he could only stir in front of Zhao Wenshui. For lunch, she got a bowl from Qian Zhuzhe to fill her stomach. He had already eaten lunch, and he couldn't possibly continue to eat at other people's place at night. Now, he could only count on himself. "Dad, hurry up and cook for me. Do you want me to starve to death?" Zhao Tianyu complained to Zhao Wenshui. Zhao Wenshui held a stick in his hand and waved it at Zhao Tianyu, cursing loudly, "Brat, can't you see that your father can't eat? Who do you want me to look for?" "Dad, you're my father. If I don't look for you, who should I look for? Who told you to drive Mother away in anger? Otherwise, do you think I would be hungry now?" Zhao Wenshui was angry when he heard Zhao Tianyu's words. Although he was the one who drove Mother away, didn't this brat get involved? He wanted him to persuade Li Chuang to stay, but he said those words. You're tuning in to the Wang Lin's Journey YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.